Oh, Fabian. They couldn't fuck with that.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I am currently on the test server, guys, but I have access to pretty much all of the changes that were released with the latest update, including the assassins, which, let's be honest, they are pretty irrelevant, so we're gonna stop talking about them for the moment. What I do want to talk about in today's video is the buff that Roxanne finally got. We're gonna see if Roxanne is actually super strong nowadays, or is still kind of like a vault champion. Can we actually gain some utility out of this champion after the changes? Now, what I'm quickly going to try to do as well, while we are gonna talk about his kit and stuff, is quickly find the multipliers, because they got a bit of an update, right? He got a bit stronger than before. So with the A1, he will place a perfect veil on himself. If the attack is critical, he will gain turn meter. With this skill, which actually got a pretty nice revamp, he will put perfect veil for 2 turns if he's not attacking under a veil or a perfect veil. He will fill his turn meter by 50%, which will enable him to rotate pretty fast, and will ignore shield, strengthen, and unkillable. And of course, he still has the chance to land a stun or a sleep. But the multipliers got increased. He used to have a multiplier of 3.6. Now, actually no, a multiplier of 6.1. Now he has a multiplier of 6.4 on this skill. Then with the A3, nothing in terms of multipliers were increased here. I will show you a little screenshot in a second. But it is a bit different, the skill, right? So he does have the chance to land the defense down and the weaken, will decrease the cooldown of the A2 by 2 turns, sorry, and will ignore immunity, block debuffs, shield, and strengthen with this skill, which is pretty good, because that means he can land the defense down and weaken through immunity. If he attacks while he's not under a veil, he won't ignore any of the funky things, but he will land defense down and weaken on a single target, as he used to do it before. Now, one of the main things with this champion was the fact that you need him to put a veil in order to have this AoE defense down and weaken for PvE content, okay? Which might not necessarily be the best thing, and I still think is not the best thing. It does require a veil champion for the defense down and weaken to become AoE, but considering that he did get some nice changes, we can overlook that part, right? Then, with a passive, which is much better now, he will place a block debuff immunity on himself and an increased attack on the champion for 1 turn, and a continuous heal buff for 2 turns whenever they receive a veil or a perfect veil buff. He will place a protected perfect veil on the champion for 1 turn whenever an enemy receives a buff from skills. So if they go in front of you, you're gonna get a veil. You don't have to worry about it. Now, if the target's max HP is higher than this champion, champions will ignore 15% of the target's defense. If the target's max HP is more than double, he will ignore 30% instead, which will be the case versus bosses, waves, etc. In PvP, he will ignore 30% mainly versus HP-based nukers, support champions, etc. He does have a decent base HP at 16,000. His base speed got increased as well from 98 to 103. We still have the same aura, which is not something that we really care about. Is a crit rate aura, is not something that you're going to end up in using. I'm quickly going to take a screenshot of the multipliers so you guys can see them. So let me just zoom in. Zoom in! On the A1, he had a 3.6 and he has a 3.8 now. On the A2, a 6.1, he has a 6.4 now. So overall, he got a nice buff. Now, I already have a Roxanne on my account. I have a 5-star soul on him, and we're going to try him in 2 different builds. This is a PvE build. Now, I do want to mention, this is going to be an end game build, because that's how I'm testing the champions. I want to see how he compares with the big boy champions that can deal crazy damage. Is he going to do good damage? Or even after the buff, he's still going to feel pretty underwhelming. Now, I have a Merciless and I have a Zeal set on him. No relic. Total stats, we have 54k HP. So you see what I'm saying? You need either an HP-based nuker or a good support champion to have double the HP. We have 7.8k attack. 2.4k defense, 243 speed. We have full crit rate, 340 crit damage because we do have the 5-star blessing, which actually helps a lot with that. And we have 446 accuracy. And that is mainly because we need accuracy to land debuffs if we want to do that. You can do it without accuracy and don't worry about his defense down and weaken. Now, overall, he's bringing the increased attack on himself, the immunity, the defense down, the weaken, the veil, which all, in theory, work really good for the Chimera trials. The only thing is, you might struggle a little bit to find a fear on a different champion, a block active skills, a block buffs, something that's still going to be important. So synergizing him with other champions for the Chimera, I think it still ends up in, I'm going to bring in Lydia, right? And then you don't have to worry too much about his defense down and weaken. But either way, I did build him with accuracy because we're going to try him in the Hydra 2, where most likely we're going to have another defense down and weakened champion, so we can push his damage to the next level. Masteries, we have offense and support tree. We have Helm Smasher S tier 6. These are the masteries. He does ignore shields already, so getting shield breaker is pretty relevant. It will only really work for the A1. And we want to have lasting gifts over Master Hexer because of the buffs, right? I feel like they are going to be more important. Blessings. Nature's Wrath is definitely going to be the best if you do not have a 6-star. If you have a 6-star, most likely going with, what is it? A Crushing Brand is going to be the way to do it. Now, I will give him a 6-star blessing before we do Chimera, just to see how he performs in there. I will give him a relic for the Chimera too. Probably I'm going to give him the Cat's Gaze. But before that, what I want to do is go into the Dragon Slayer and see what numbers we can kick in from here, okay? Now, either I go in with a champion that gives me
Dragon Slayer.
attack, either I don't. I kind of like want to test all of the skills properly, so I'm going to go with an increased attack. But I'm going to show you that you don't necessarily need it. For PvP, if the enemies do not buff before you, you will need an increased attack. So let's land the defense down and the weaken. Give him the increased attack. So right now, this skill is AoE. And
One level away from unlocking the team setup.
The veil that we have on. Let's see the damage. Right, so the damage is definitely not bad. Now, this did not had its multipliers increased. This was more or less always the same. The only thing that really changed here is the fact that he ignores 30% of the target's defense with the passive, right? Because they have double the HP that he has. So that is a massive plus. It's good damage. As long as you one-shot somebody here, that's good damage. This is literally one of the tankiest waves in the entire game. I'm talking about tankier than Doom Tower waves and stuff like that. So that is definitely a good outcome overall. Now, what if we're going to back out and we're going to try the A2 skill instead, which did have the multipliers increased. And considering that we are ignoring a good chunk of defense, let's see, can we one-shot that Venus, right? That's going to be pretty important. Can we one-shot her or not? And yes, we can. 550k damage. Pretty damn good. Definitely not bad damage from Roxanne now after the changes. The main thing that's really good is the fact that he ignores defense. If you're looking at different champions, take the example Cassandra. Cassandra has a 6.5 multiplier on her A2. Roxanne has a 6.4. Now, Roxanne does have a higher base attack than Cassandra, but he ignores defense with a passive, which really gives him that upper hand. While if you're looking at Cassandra, she doesn't ignore defense. Even though she's getting all of that crazy attack from the passive, it's just not enough, right? So look at that. They buffed. Roxanne gained the buffs from the passive, which is great. And now he can just go bananas. When he's using this skill, he's decreasing the cooldown of this skill. And it instantly becomes available. And then you're getting 50% turn meter, and you can just rotate the champion much faster. Now, what I'm going to do now, let's take Duchess out and just go in with him and with Lydia. Let's see what happens like this. So let's put the defense down, the weaken. I want to get the perfect veil, right? And I want to get an increased attack for the AoE. So I'm going to go with this attack versus Venus. 273k. Now we have the buffs. We gain the thermometer. And we are ready to rumble again, right? But with the increased attack. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this. We absolutely demolish them. No Duchess in here to carry him or anything like that. Yes, he does have good stats, but so do all of the champions that I'm testing in here. And now I have the A2 available again, which banks gives me thermometer, enabling me to push into the A1, then back into the A3, into the A2, A3, A2, and keep on going, basically. So that's actually pretty cool. Now we can go with AoE, no veil, so it's going to be a single target, but we just wrecked that without the increased attack, and we had 419k hit. Now we gain the increased attack, we gain the veil, so we are ready to move on to the A2. Now with the A2, I can pretty much attack anybody, right? Not sure why we do not have this available, but either way, we should have. Oh, I think you need to have the veil or perfect veil to decrease the cooldown. Okay, that's fine. Let's go in with the A1 versus Venus. 344k with the basic skill. All right, that's fine. No increased attack, but we have the veil, which means that we're going to have an AoE attack. Beautiful. They try to revive. Not a problem. We don't have to worry about it. That's why we have Lydia in here. And now we can go with this. Bank. We get the healing. We get the thermometer. The increased attack.
Yeah, we really need some 5-star, 6-star speed boots on him.
Definitely much better for PvE. Now, I do want to see him in the Hydra, in the Chimera. How is he going to perform in there? I feel like for the Chimera, not for the Chimera, for the Hydra, we can go with this build. I'm not going to give him a 6-star blessing. I'm not going to give him anything fancy to basically push his damage more. No relic. We're just going to do that for the Chimera. And that's mainly because, what am I doing? On the Hydra, I already have the Great Hall maxed, which will push his stats quite a bit. And I will bring in another defense down and weaken champion. Or I could just drop Lazarius, bring in a Duchess instead. And I could drop Lydia, right? I have Roxanne to get the debuffs. Not Void Affinity, but that's fine. So let's get an increased attack. Let's do an ally attack. Increase crit damage. I'm very curious to see the hits on decapitated heads. Like, can he push some big numbers? Let's put a provoke. I'm not going to do a full run or anything like that, guys. I'm just going to literally try to see the actual numbers on the hits, right? We have the defense down and weaken. I missed the damage numbers, which is fine. Oh, I just realized Theox does not have gear. I just realized that. I'm surprised that he crit with both of the hits, though. But he has no gear. I've just realized that. Funny enough, he's still critting. Not a problem. What I've done right now, actually, I have no block buffs. One second. So... Oh, I'm missing a champion, right? That's what I'm supposed to do. Bring in Feral, assuming that he does have the gear. Okay, he does. He's not in protection. He's on a shield set, though. And I'm quickly going to check my Theox. It's crazy that he crit every single time. It's crazy that he crit every single time, though. I can't believe it, actually. Really crazy that he did it. Super impressed with that. So let's give him this. And let's give him this as well. And we do have that on.
Not sure why it's not giving us any tournaments to do on here, but let's go ahead and pull these. See what we get. Gotta be level 60 to get the reserve ball. That kind of sucks. You get any rares out of this? Oh, we won a blue. Hold 100, so theoretically we should get at least one. Wish we had one more green shard. Do a campaign real quick. We'll probably get one.
So quick update on the delayed start strategy. It's working surprisingly well. My other account, which usually sits at about 66% win rate, is now at 23 wins, 1 loss, which is 96% win rate. My main usually 75% win rate in live arena, currently 28 game win streak, sitting at 100% win rate. I mean, I guess it's only day 2. Is it all downhill from here? Only time will tell, right? Today's topic, I want to talk about a fundamental concept in rate PvP, and that's just team composition, right? Along the way of my 28 straight victories, what I've noticed is some of these accounts are not bad. They are like they got full mythical teams, they got 6-star ascensions. Some teams are even faster than me, right? But few are really like thought out good compositions. A lot more of like, oh, I got nice, he's the best arena champion, so I'm just gonna throw him together with my fastest champion, Arbiter Shujin, and I'm also going to throw in like a Volcanos in there for some reason. Like, what's the plan there, right? Like, going first, and then what? Where's the strip? Where's the CC? yes, Nice has like a good AoE, but it's in form 2, and you don't want to start with that form or that skill anyways. So like, also, when are you giving the opportunity enemies to buff so you can burn them? Like, there's a lot of questions, and I don't think these players have the answer either. So I think I'll just start with maybe the most basic, right? The most basic is like a typical speed team. What makes up a great speed team? So first, you gotta have a speed lead with an aura, like turn meter boost. I'm talking bonus points if there's also like a revive in there, maybe a damage buff, like
Like
maybe increase attack,
Lazarius.
increase defense.
Oh,
And these champions, like just as an example, Arbiters, Shujin, Lamasu, Sifi, like these fit in this category, right? Next component of a speed team, you gotta have some kind of a strip champion. Currently, the meta is every nuker has some sort of protection. The most common one being just the stone skin gear. The best champion to deal with that,
Lord,
of course, you got Embreeze, you got a Burns.
Somebody was
Zephyrion,
standing still
Kismet,
against
right?
their shoulder side or
So you
stuff.
gotta have one of
And
those.
I got shredders right behind me.
Next, you need
And
a good
this
disruptor.
I bring the shredders
Something
towards
that can
them.
really
The
mess
shredders
up
kill
the team.
them.
I'm
And
talking about like
I kill the shredder that I live in.
Terminator.
So
why'd you do it?
just put in AFK.
Why would you do so?
I'm glad I did. I got a level 3 vet. That is whatever.
Well, why did you do it? The shredders would have got him anyways.
Yeah. It was even funny when I could have wear the shredders away. But no, I went straight. Fire.
I wonder if that affects your match ranking. A year's in the vicinity. I'm curious. Probably not, but I am curious. Oh, I did dick move.
Manipulation, lockouts. So things like Fabian, Armand's, Odin, Queen of Hearts, like they fit this category, right? And then finally, you need 2 nukers. What do you need 2 nukers? If they ban, you only bring 1 nuker and they ban that 1 nuker, you're gonna be sitting in the match for a very long time, and it's gonna be a bad experience for yourself and the enemy. It's just not a good time. So bring 2 nukers, right? Bonus points if your nuker can ignore certain survivability skills. Talking about maybe built-in ignore defense, built-in ignore shield strengthen, talking about ignore block damage, ignore unkillable, talking about attacks that go through the stone skin, right? Now, most nukers have a very, very hard-hitting single target and an AoE hit. The target selection is going to be key, and that's a whole other topic. And I think enough rambling for today. I just want to take a look at what's going on in the battles of today's live arena. So over here, I think the enemy has a speed team, and I've got my team here that specifically counter speed teams. Why do I say I specifically counter speed teams? I got 3 pieces, right? 3 components. Number 1, I've got a fast lockout. Number 2, I have the Aileo Necro combo. If people don't know, that combo, especially on my account, goes at effectively 800 speed. So it's gonna go first, and Aileo can go through stone skin, right? So that's the second component. And then third, I will throw in a Calvalax on there if they're very speed heavy as well. So that's like a triple threat against the speed team, and they can only ban one of those threats. So I do very, very well against speed teams. Over here, I chose to bring Sifi, and if you bring Sifi, you can let Volcanos through, or you're just going to buff, and your team just goes poof. They all burn themselves and just die, right? So you can't do that. Embrace is an excellent Marius counter. I didn't do the fear there because they all have block debuffs, so there's no point. So I just swap form and do the nuke. Notice I didn't do the swap HP first, and the reason is because see over there, I got the if I didn't die, I got the enfeeble, and if I save the swap HP, I can actually take an extra turn, get rid of the enfeeble, and then I can go again on an attack, right? Of course, Duchess is very tanky, so he's alive, but my Embrace is protected by Necrit, so his big nuke on the Marius didn't do anything, and I think this point is game over, right? Yeah, so that was a pretty good team. That team, it could have gone either way, I think. Okay, we got the next one. Let's just maybe skip ahead here on the picks. Yeah, Embrace, Fabian, and Marius are gonna be, a lot of the matches are gonna be these three, and if they pick one of those, your best bet is to take the other two, right? Of course, with Fabian, if you pick that early, they can pick a lot of mythicals. In this case, both the Carnage and the Siegfried, their best skills are in Form 1. So the lockout actually do a lot versus them, right? Some of the mythicals, their best skill is on Form 2, so the lockout does nothing. But in this case, they want to stay in Form 1. Their best skills are in Form 1. I think that champion kind of counters lockout, so I was debating, and I decided to kill that one first. And my team is tanky enough that they won't die from this. Over here, Siegfried goes to the other form and revives everybody, but it's okay because we got Fabian, and we put the block buffs on him, Siegfried, before he transformed, so that he doesn't do anything. Here is dangerous. If you go hit the Embrace, the reflect damage could kill you. So I did that just because I still had the stone skin on Ailil. Ailil actually gives himself stone skin. So that's the only reason I went and with the big hit there against Embrace. Otherwise, it's a bad idea because the reflect damage will proc, and you might just kill your own champion. With Embrace, you have to. Oh, I think that one was taking too long, and it wasn't a good match to show anyways. So we skip ahead. Over here, there's a lot of mythicals. This one should be a fun one. Nell is a big counter to buffs, but we target him first, right? Over here. Okay, everything just died. I want to see what happened there. It was a little fast. Okay. Yeah, so we first target Nell, because if we don't, anytime we buff, Nell is gonna put poison on us, and he's gonna boost his turn meter, so he can strip everything and make us go to sleep. It's gonna be a bad time. So we take out the Nell.
Here we get on our first ancient bulls. Adjudicator. A champion you can farm. And these are rough ones. Oh, epics. And they're friggin' farmables. Hey, we got an epic. And it's like the worst freaking one in the game. I mean, at least with A3 can put out decreased speed and accuracy if it's a critical, which isn't the worst thing. Well, that was lackluster. Forward's not horrible, at least not against Clan Boss. He can expand the duration of all debuffs when he gets it back and he puts out a burn. So, I mean, at least we get a burner. Do we have any decreased defense champion? Okay. So Gala can put out decreased defense. He can put out the big version to decrease defense. I have a lot of skull swords. What does he do? We put out heal reduction. Yep. And they weaken. But he's weak affinity to what we need, so. If we want to do Templar. We'll take them up to 40. But first we need to put a few levels. Into these 30s just for the champion chase going on.
First. Over here, because now it's gone, I can do the buff defense and accuracy first, and then do the smack, right? The smack actually procs Siegfried passive, so his block damage is up, and I stripped everything, but I don't kill him. So he doesn't have his passive anymore, and he doesn't have block damage anymore. Okay. And then he does the AoE instead of the big smack on one target, because let's be honest here, if we smack into the Marius has like 8,000 defense and is full HP with a huge shield. He might get it low or maybe kill it, but the splash won't do anything, and everyone else is in stone skin. So he just did the AoE, which most Siegfried players do. He'll get turn meter from that, so that's fine. That's a fine move. Over here, because my Aileo is going at such high speed, right? It goes twice before his champions take us a single turn over here. And that's because not only does he get the buffs from Necrit at the beginning, after he kills the target, he gets a shield and stone skinned and on himself, which buffs his turn meter, and I buffed with Marius, which gives him increased defense and increased accuracy. Those buffs also buff Aileo, so he is going at incredibly fast because of those boosts. Every buff gives Aileo turn meter, right? So I can go again, and over here, everyone doesn't have stone skin anymore. I went with the attack, and notice how I hovered the nice champion. See how I have 3 stacks of lightning cage? You always want to do that. I think I explained in the last video. I go over there. It does a little bit of damage, not enough, because Nice gets so much boost, but once he transforms, my Marius passive kicks in, kills the Nice. He doesn't get to take a turn, right? And that's that. So it's a good team. Just fell a little bit short. And of course, yeah, that's this team composition I have specifically counters Nice and Siegfried, right? Which are the most common. Like if you have all the champions in the game, you probably would use Siegfried and Nice in live arena. It's just that good. Over here, I'm always thinking like Nell is a big counter to buffs. I have a lot of buffs. I want to ban Nell, but also a good amount of people put their Fabian in supersonic, so I'm thinking that's gonna be a threat. I went with the Fabian ban and left the Arbiter in. So over here, I'm not sure if it's the correct move, but I always take out the Nell first. It's the Arbiter is gonna go and she's gonna like do double boost and make everyone faster, but I think it's gonna be okay for me. Yeah, she's gonna revive first, and then she's gonna do the boost, so everyone has incredibly high turn meter. It goes even before my Sifi, right, my fastest champion. Over here, the Gizmac doesn't have a lot of choices because yes, I got a burn on myself, but the stone skin didn't like fall off, right? So he has to do the buff and then do the stone skin strip skill. He can't go to the second form, so my stone skins are gone, right? And then over here, this is where I think this player made a mistake, because let's see what he does. If he transforms, the Nell will die to the counter attack. So his best bet is to put the fear up, and hopefully it lands on Marius. He does that, and the fear lands on Marius, and notice Marius wanted to counterattack, but it didn't proc because blocked by fear. Now, since the fear is on Marius, what are you scared of? Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? You transform, Marius the fear doesn't proc, and then like it kills maybe Nell. I think that's it. Maybe Gizmac, but then your Embrace is probably okay. He doesn't do that. I think he does what? He does that skill. That skill is not gonna hurt anybody, right? On the form 1. And it trigger my counterattack anyways. Because it like steals, turns the positive buffs to negative buffs, and they triggered a mastery that does the counterattack. And now it's game over. Like, if he swapped there, he would still have a chance. Like, when the fear is on Marius and your Embrace did that, like, you always want to do the swap. Just risk it, right? Because if you don't, you're gonna lose. If you do, you have a chance to win. So if you're ever in that situation, you landed the fear on Marius, you want to swap to the second form. Worst case, like everyone else dies, the Embrace comes back to life, like you still have a small chance. But yeah, so that was that match. Over here, again, one of the rare cases where I brought 3 nukers. Don't do 3 nukers too often, but did it for this match. I think I was concerned about the Siegfried and the Odin both have block damage, and I was thinking I might not be able to get through, so I brought the chicken, and of course they banned the chicken. Is a good choice, but now I have both Aileo and Marius. If I only had 1 nuker, I think I will struggle to go through all that block damage, but I have 2 now. I take out the Nell first, because if I don't, every time I buff, now it's going to gain turn meter, it's going to poison me, is a bad time. So he buffs the Odin, which is correct. If he buffs the Siegfried, everyone's in stone skin except Sifi, like he's not going to do much. And here, questionable. He went with the smack skill against Sifi, trying to one-shot the Sifi, but like, no. You almost never go for the reviver, right? They could have aspect of Serath on them. In this case, I don't, but my CV is very well built. It's tanky, and it's got a relic that reduces like ignore defense and things like that. So he barely does like half the HP. It's just not a good choice. I would have went with the strip and the stun, right? Here, his Siegfried doesn't have a lot of choices. Everyone in stone skin, so he hits the CV. Think he gets the CV, but the block, the damage doesn't do a lot. And then Aileo counters Siegfried because I have block buffs, right? Block buffs counters that a lot. Everyone still have the block debuffs from CV skill, so that fear skill does nothing. And over here, just start smacking. That's that match. Yeah. Okay, next one. Marius is so good versus Mythicals, which everybody has these days, and so meta. The opponent took Sifi, which is one of my most used champions. Over here, I'm looking at the team. I'm thinking he's very fast. He's got Shujin, he's got Sifi, and the Marichka passive counters any kind of bombs or poisons. When bombs and poisons land on the enemy team, Marichka will put up block damage team-wide. So my only choice here is to ban the Marichka, right? And if the opponent is good and he sees me pick Calvalax, he will know that I don't have any other choice. I have to ban the Marichka, because if I don't, then why did I pick Calvalax? Like, that's a wasted pick, and you only have 4 champions, and you waste 25% of your slot for nothing. Like, that would be stupid, right? So he should know that I have to ban Marichka, which means in his counter turn that he has to ban Calvalax. If he doesn't, he's going to have a bad time. He can't bank on me not banning Marichka because I'm not stupid, and then leaving that in. So as a good player, he can't do that, right? So over here, he bans the Calvalax, which is smart. And we go into the match. So let me see here. What's going on? So over here, yes. Okay, I'm just gonna do a switch. All right, and that's still good. Okay, what happened with that match? Think yeah, target selection wise, nobody's in Stone Skin because he thinks he's gonna go first, but Necrit Aleo combo, right? He's not gonna go first. Mine is at effectively 800 speed. He transforms, triggers Marius. Marius just defeats. Like that's a game won and lost in a pick and ban, right? Like there's no doubt in it. Like that's just the game is done because he picked a certain team composition and it had all the answers to it. He's forced to ban one of the champions, leaving the other ones, and then I just smack him, right? So sometimes like you just get checkmate. I think this one realized that there's nothing he could have done. He picked Commodus, and Commodus gets hard countered by block debuffs if they're faster, and I have two answers, right? One in CV, the other in Necrit. So he just left. Like a lot of times you gotta be more flexible in your picks. Like if you see what the enemy is doing and you have an idea already in your head, and but you continue to do that anyways, you might have a good time. So over here, I decided to pick the Calvalax because I'm thinking, I was debating, but this Yumiko has a 6-star intimidating presence. I really didn't want them to have that. Otherwise, I would have left the Yumiko in because I'm first pick, and Calvalax poison goes on Yumiko before Yumiko puts the block, the veil up on herself and becomes immune to all debuffs. So usually I would have left the Yumiko in. Not this time. That's fine. He picked ban the Marius, which again, all nice players. They see a Marius 6-star blessing with Soul Reap, they ban that and ignore everything else, right? They without fail. Like nice players, very, very simple. Very, very simple. So you kind of know what they're banning, and that's why I brought in the chicken, right? Chicken also counters nice. Because if you're not gonna ban nice, you gotta have two counters because they will ban one of them. Over here, we have incredibly heavy control. So I do the block, increase defense first. He's gonna do his thing. I put a fear on. I'm very, very safe at this point. Yeah, he's nice if he does anything. If the fear doesn't proc, he does something. Oh, and he gets sheeped. And over here, his thing is gone, right? His block damage is gone because he got sheeped. And the nice thing about Chicken is on Chicken's second form, Chicken is immune to all CC, including sheep. So I don't care about polymorph, which is Wukong has, and I think some other champion has, but I don't care. I can, since the block damage is up, is gone, I can use the decreased defense ability, which hits significantly harder because you're hitting with decreased defense on everybody, right? So this one will kill the nice 200k damage. Weak hit on Wukong. Bit unlucky there. So the Wukong here, if he does the A2 on, say, I would have done it on Fabian, and it goes through, it could one-shot my whole team. But I'm pretty sure the Wukong is locked out. He just revived. Fabian locked him out, so he doesn't have it. So you just have A1. So there's no chance of him winning that. Yeah. So that's the... if he wasn't locked out, that match could have been... If you win the 50-50 on the fear, that match could have been going that way. Level 97 player, but has the platinum avatar. So in my head, I'm already thinking this guy has a lot of mythicals. Or else you're not gonna be able to get that avatar and be level 97. So yeah, here comes the Galathier. When you have that kind of like just little player icon and their level, even that kind of information, you kind of know like what is gonna be high priority In this case, Marius is going to be really high priority because Marius counters mythicals, and he's going to have a lot of mythicals. He picked a bunch of speed champions. I'm thinking I want to have two answers to his speed because I don't have the lockout. I saw he picked so many mythicals, I didn't bring Fabian, so I have two answers: Necro Alil and the Calvalax against the fast champions. And if I don't ban the Galathier is usually either Stone Skin or just really high resistance, and he has the cleanse skill, so that will nullify my poison. So again, this is the kind of thinking the opponent should be having. He sees me pick Calvalax, he has speed champions, he's thinking this guy is probably gonna ban my Galathier, just like the Marichka case, right? Like, I don't have other choice. If I don't ban that, then I brought in a champion that does nothing. I'm not stupid, so I have to ban the Galathier, and he can use that to his advantage, right? So yeah, so this match he left the Calvalax, so I think he's just gonna sacrifice his Arbias, who is the only one really fast but not in like Stone Skin. So I think that's a good trade. Like, you put in the Calvalax, you take out their fastest champion, and then the Calvalax doesn't do much after that, and their team is not as fast, right? In this case, I was even faster than the Arbias, which, again, level 97 account, not gonna have the best of the gears. And yeah, really not gonna have the best of gears because everything melted 10 seconds. Yeah, I expected a little bit more, but again, it is a lower level account. So, and I think that's all the matches for the main, like 28 battles so far. We're at 250 points, 100% win rate. Pretty good, pretty good. So we go on to the other account. The other account is more interesting because, you know, we don't have the Necro Alil combo. So we have one less answer to speed teams. Over here, very, very fast team. Again, their whole plan is to go fast and nuke, right? Lockout, strip, decrease buff duration. And on my side, my answers is just to survive. I've got tanky champions, I've got HP champions, I've got a disruptor that is Fabian in Supersonic, so hoping to cut in, and I've got Calvalax hoping to, you know, take out some of his fast champions with a passive, right? He bans the Calvalax, so I'm guessing his fast champions are not in like Stone Skin, which is fine. The Marichka has higher speed aura than Fabian, so I picked that one, 24%. And here, my Fabian goes first, so he's not that fast, and this game is over, right? If I didn't go first, usually the CV is fast. The CV will usually boost. This is a nuke Lazarus, right? It's not a speed Lazarus, so the CV will boost and the Warlord will lock out. But let's just say his CV is faster than me, which in most cases he should be. If you see, like, you have to pay attention to all these texts at the beginning of the battle, because if you see a little bit of like increased turn meter showing up, which does this have increased turn meter text show up? Like, I want to magma shield decrease turn meter. Okay, he's got the thing, temporal chains. Okay, the increased turn meter did not show up, but sometimes it will. I think what's happening here is because I'm the attacker. I just want to make sure. Where are we? Yes, I picked first. In live arena, whoever picks first, the game assigns them as the attacker. So if I were second, he will have all of these buffs go on first. The attacker will get all of the passive applied, all the initial buffs go on first. I'm talking about the stone skins, the feral, whatnot. And when those buffs go up, the defender side, if they have supersonic, the text will trigger and you will be able to see that there is increased turn meter. So that's your telltale sign that someone is on supersonic. Now, because I'm the attacker, my things go up first. And the supersonic text didn't show up, I don't think. So yeah, again, like attacker side is very unbalanced in this game. They have massive advantage. So yeah, my things go up. And then, yeah, so if he were faster than me, and he sees that text, you'll know this is in supersonic, and you cannot boost with Sifi anymore. Because when Sifi boosts, it only gives 10% turn meter to his whole team, but you will boost the supersonic, and it will just like skyrocket because it's 3 times 4. That's 12 buffs, and each buff gives the supersonic like a massive boost, right? So disruptors on supersonic is S tier. So if Sifi sees that he cannot boost, he has to A1, and then hopefully the warlord is faster than Fabian, which is why disruptors like Fabian, Armand's, even warlord, like if you put them on a supersonic and facing like a buff heavy champion like Sifi, is so good, because you will, if they buff, you will cut in. And if they don't buff, you're racing against their secondary champion when they don't have the boost. So it's excellent. Here I'm just faster. I don't think there's anything they can do really. And he even got sheeped. So I have a 5-star sheep on Fabian. If I had 6-star, I don't know if I will put sheep, but at 5-star, because Fabian is a high accuracy champion, like, so it still works with sheep, and he doesn't have any protection on himself, like no stone skin or anything, so he could get debuffed, and that could trigger the sheep. So that's what I use. Is Lazarus actually?
Oh my god. Oh, petrification team, this dude is insane. This dude is insane. Petrified, petrified, petrified. Ooh, look at this juicy team. It is the all fear team. Fortis, Noble, Fabian, and Marius. Oh, here they go. Oh, here they go. Man, I love this dude. I might have a new favorite champion until I have to go up against him in the arena every single battle. I think until then. Look at this team. It's fear on fear on fear on fear. Hey guys, I share Rachel Legends. Welcome to the video. Glad to have you all here with me today. Sending some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need it out there today. You're gonna remnant summon, just get a mythical, no big deal. Oh my god, dude. Our bias, oh my. What a banger start to the video. I can't believe that. 2.5% chance. I have this motto here on the channel. We're going to do a Fabian the Lord Entertainer, by the way, guide in today's video. But I have this motto where I'm no longer going to ever pull a remnant summon that I'm not recording a video for, in case something like this happens. Well, our bias is actually one of the perfect setups for Fabian, because she brings the increased accuracy and the turn meter boost as well. So, hey, shout out to our bias. She also has a speed aura, and she's one of the best mythicals out there in the game, in my opinion. She's incredible what she does, and she does a lot. Wow. All right. Hey, let's finish it up. I have 4 legendary live arena crafting material. How's this for a little appetizer before the main course? Golden elixir? Okay, I mean, all right. Not exactly what we're looking for. I also have 4 live arena epics. Let's get that legendary. Come on. Okay, well, we saw it before. We see it again. Golden elixir. And here we go. One more. Live arena. Boom. Rod of Blasphemy. Okay, there we go. You know what? Screw it, guys. I am giving you quite the treat here. No big deal. One more. Ah, man, golden elixir up the A today. Okay, we're gonna stop there. Anyway, welcome to the video, guys. How you all doing? Did I say positive vibes yet? I have no idea. I've really lost track. Let's talk about Fabian today. Fabian or Fabian? Tomato, tomato. I don't know. Either way, the dude is a beast, right? We speculated he's one of the better fusions that we'll see all year. He's kind of like the Armands of 2025, and I think that's gonna be the case. I think you're gonna be super annoyed with this champion after only a week or two time because he's gonna be everywhere, specifically in the arena. We're going to mainly focus on the arena. I'm going to give the top 5 builds for him depending on where you are in the game and what you can pull off on your account as well. But first, let's go through this kit, right? Speed in all battles, love the aura. He's great in wave content, great for control basically anywhere in the game. Good against bosses who have minions like the Eternal Dragon, like the Ice Golem as well. Really good control from this champion. On his A1 service and death is a 2-time hitter. Each hit steals 10% of the target's turn meter. True fear for 2 turns if the target's turn meter is fully depleted. Very nice A1 ability. Stealing 10% or 20% turn meter on both hits is very, very strong for an A1. Unwelcome guests is where things start to get hectic in his kit. It's crazy. 3-turn cooldown, win booked. Yes, he's worth your books. Attacks 1 enemy, plays petrification for 1 turn. 100% chance to place true fear for 2 turns on all enemies who are not under fear or true fear. Passive effect. Activates this skill whenever an enemy under fear or true fear successfully uses a skill. So they use a skill, it activates again, petrifying and true fearing somebody, right? That's nasty. Petrification, in case you're a new player out there, it's going to go ahead and remove all of the buffs on the target, then block any other buffs from being applied, and then they'll lose their turn and they won't have cooldowns of any of their skills while the debuff is active. However, they will take 300% more damage from bombs, okay? So keep that in mind. 60% less damage except for bombs, which are 300% more. That is petrification, okay? Skeletor was the first dude who could place it on an active skill. Lord Fabian is the second. We have Mithrala. We have Arbias, who we saw earlier, who also has petrification in their kits. It's a really strong CC debuff. Spectral Flourish is A3 ability, 4-turn cooldown, when booked, attacks all enemies before attacking. 100% chance to decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns. Then has a 100% chance of increasing the cooldown of all enemy skills by 3 turns, and then grants an extra turn if there are no buffs on the enemy team after this attack. Obviously requires speed and accuracy in this dude's kit. He's kind of tough to build because we want a lot of speed and a lot of accuracy, right? The accuracy to decrease the duration of all enemy buffs. So that's like a Marius type skill, right? It's polymorph proof. However, it's not going to be polymorph proof on all these fears and true fears. So you got to be careful with this champion. All right, we went over his kit. Now, passive goes with the most. I like it. I dig it. Whenever the enemy is revived, places a true fear on them for 2 turns. Removes any CC debuffs from this champion before the start of their turn. That's a nasty little extra addition to the already busted passive. Man, this guy's next level. Next level. We have build number 1. We have Stone Skin in Pinpoint. Him getting turned into a sheep is always going to be an issue. His passive, his A2, his A1 as well. So Pinpoint's very, very good on this champion. Even if you can get 1 intercept stack, it's great. Heck, if you can get 6-piece, go for it. If you can get 9-piece, go for it, right? I could see you building him with as much pinpoint as you can get on him given your account, but I want some protection because I don't have him fast enough to ensure that he's always going to go first on my account, especially with no blessing on this champion, no empowerment on this champion. He's not going to be able to be fast enough to contend with the other champions I have on my account, and a lot of endgame players will probably feel the same, right? Anyway, Stone Skin Pinpoint, that's going to be number 1. In terms of stat priorities, we want speed and accuracy, a lot of it, as I already mentioned, I think. So again, Pinpoint on the accessories, as much speed as we can get on the banner. I went speed on the boots with speed ascension stat. We went accuracy on the chest, and ideally we'd have HP percentage, a little bit of survivability maybe, but I went crit rate on the gauntlets. He deals like small amounts of damage, aka he's not a damage dealer, he's not a nuker, right? So ideally we'd have HP percentage there, but that's the best speed Pinpoint that I had on my account for the gauntlets. Again, I'm looking for accuracy. We want a lot of accuracy, even if you have to sacrifice a little bit of speed, because if that A3 doesn't work, who cares how fast he is, right? And ideally, we're removing all buffs so we get the extra
That was close.
turn. That's really important. So more accuracy, the merrier. Even setting him up with an increased accuracy champion, such as, again, in our bias, such as a Skeletor, which we'll use both of those champions with him, is going to be really, really, important, right? Or even a Marius, if you have Marius going faster than him, which is probably unlikely. Anyway, I digress. You can see the gear that I have on him right now. Really quickly, I have Wand of Submission for a relic. This relic is busted. I absolutely love it. Generally, I'm looking for relics that have accuracy or speed as stats. If you have it, it's fantastic. 25% chance to reflect, CC debuffs, but more importantly, sheep back on the producer, right? So we can reflect all the sheeps that are going to be coming his way back at the attacker. Wand of Submission is super strong on champions that have a lot of debuffs, that are susceptible, again, to getting polymorphed, right? Like a Gizmac or somebody like that. Wand of Submission is nasty on them if you can ever get your hands on this relic, okay? In terms of a blessing, we don't have any right now, but if I was going to run Pinpoint, I might just go Lightning Cage in this build, right? Get him some protection. Of course, Intimidating Presence is going to be another option, as well as going with, where the heck is it? Temporal Chains, right? So Temporal Chains as a lockout, same reason you would have this on a Crixia or a Warlord, is probably going to be a lot of people's favorite choice for Fabian. All right, masteries. We went down, we picked up Eagle Eye, right? Eagle Eye is going to be the accuracy. We don't need Master Hexer, but we're still going to grab it because we want Eagle Eye for extra accuracy. I like picking up Arcane Celerity. This is going to give him turn meter fill whenever a debuff is removed or expired. He's dishing out a lot of true fears, a lot of fears, so we're going to get that turn meter fill. Moreover, I want to go down and pick up Retribution and Deterrence to get those counterattacks with this A1. Those counterattacks are super, super juicy and valuable, given that he's stealing the turn meter on those A1 abilities, right? And he can place those Fear or True Fears after the Retribution or the Deterrence.
Do you have any boss
these are my
drops?
favorite masteries. However, thanks to hellhades.com, this is a general PvE build for him. Personally, though, I would not go with War Master. I don't think I would go War Master. Maybe there's some exceptions if you're going to use him in, like, I don't know, like Chimera, True Fear Trials or something like that. I would go against bosses. But this guy is a wave and an arena champion. Like, he's good against other champions. We can lock them out and remove their buffs and all that stuff. So I like this mastery build. All right, let me show you a few other builds for him. I put them all up on the preset manager. So you could put him in Feral as much as you can get on him. That will give him more sheep protection, more polymorph protection, and a lot of accuracy. So as much Feral as you can get on him would be a very viable choice for him. Obviously on Feral, 4-piece will block debuffs on the wear at the start of the turn, and 6-piece will have a 50% chance to block the polymorph blessing, okay? So that's a viable option. We have speed and Stone Skin. You can see I take his speed all the way up to 376 by putting a quad speed gear on him and keeping that Stone Skin at the same time. However, our accuracy went down quite a bit there. And then just plain old triple perception, so we still have him at 361 speed in this case, and a lot more accuracy, right? So similar way that you build a Warlord or an Alika or a Basher on your account, okay? And then Stones, oh, that's his, okay, so there you go. Those are some viable ways to build him. I think we talked enough about the build. Let's jump into the arena. All right, so we're here in Platinum Arena, guys. Let's go team number 1. That's gonna be like the final team here, kind of a more pay-to-winny team, I guess. But I wanna start him out with a fear team, right? It's all about the fear and the true fear. We have Fortis in here who has Astral Terrors. It's an ability that can only unlock 40% chance of doing so when a fear or true fear is placed on an enemy. He also has this ability where it increases the chance of his enemy skill failing by 15% up to 65% when they're under a fear or true fear. He has preventive death and a little bit of damage too. And we have Noble, better known as the champion we use to empower Ninja. We have Noble on the team. He's all about fear or true fear synergy too. So we figured we'd give him a shot here, have some fun, right? And we have Fabian in the Aura lead. We have Marius to kind of double down on our buff strippers on this team. So I'm sure this team's going to go first. They have a very hard-hitting Sky Piercer on their team as well. That comes through, but we have Stone Skin Protection, and now Lord Fabian is up. So check this out. We're going to go in here and hopefully remove, yeah, look at that. What a powerful freaking move. Nobody has buffs afterwards. Now we can come in and we can petrify whoever the hell we want. Let's petrify Siffy. Boom. True Fear on everybody else. As if you guys don't know the kit already, right? Let's go in there and Marius Pound. Boom. Oh my God. All right, let's go in with Dismay. Sure. Ooh, Noble. Okay. Finally, we have Astral Terrors for the win. There we go. Man, that's a freaking fun team, right? Let's go again with the True Fear team. Do you think this dude could bring True Fear into the meta? I think he could. I think he really could, guys. All right, so we might be toast here, but let's see. Let's see. All right, Marius goes with the counterattack. Fantastic. Again, everybody's under Stone Skin, so we're looking pretty good. Let's go in with Lord Fabian again, A3, and there's a little delay there. It can be kind of scary when the buffs get removed on his kit. I've noticed that. I'm like, did it not work on anybody? Okay, there we go. And again, Marius, how about you finish him off, right? Not Star Sage, but how about everybody else? Okay, or not. But look at that, revived True Fear, right? It's True Fear too. Okay, let's go in on the AoE here. Noble, man, hitting him hard. Steals that turn meter, goes back in. Let's go the A2, Petrification on the Reviver. Hell yeah. And then Star Sage down. Oh, man. All right, let's switch the team up here, guys. Let's switch the team up. Let's go Master of the Universe Petrification special for you guys. We got He-Man in the lead. We got Skeletor, we got Fabian, we got Mithrala. So Skeletor, of course, has his Petrification on his A2 ability, right? More importantly, though, he's going to open up with the increased accuracy. I have him pretty fast, 336, right? So he's going to be second to go on our team, right? It's a very interesting team. I actually like it a lot. I've been reevaluating He-Man, so I apologize for having a pay-to-win champion on this team, but I thought it would be pretty fun to play them together on the same squad. Skeletor and He-Man. When do you see that? We also have Mithrala, who has the Petrification on her passive as well. And He-Man, I have him built very fast in all speed gear. So he's 360 speed, right? He's going to go in with his A2 ability. He brings his own increased attack and ignores Stone Skin. But most importantly, if he kills an enemy, fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%. That's right. I'm using him as my speed or a lead, and I'm using him as my speed booster. I'm just going to pick off the enemy with the lowest HP when he's on my team. That's how I run a He-Man speed booster team. Okay. Anyway, here we go. So He-Man goes in. We pick the enemy. Who doesn't matter who they are. We picked the enemy at the lowest HP because I had to sacrifice the ignore defense to get him this fast, right? So it's going to be Sun Wukong. So now he speed boosts everybody else. Ideally, they wouldn't cut in a line like this. Not ideal. Not ideal, but we do have a cleanser, right? Mithrala. Now we go in with Lord Fabian, and then little delay, and then everything goes down, and then we're cooking. We're done. Let's go Petrify there. So he actually caught up and passed Skeletor there, but it's okay. I have the power. Boom. Okay, man. This is a fun little team too, right? Now, we want Skeletor to go first though, right? So we'll be good though. We'll be good. His buffs fell off and he must have got the mastery to just speed him up, right? Let's go against this squad. They look faster than me. They look very fast. And He-Man is hurting for certain right now. Oh, Dance of Time. Galloping. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Let's go in and get the hexes so we can petrify, hopefully. We're going to go A1. Now, we don't want to go A1 against Marius. We'll go A1 against Arbiter. Steal that turn meter. Oh, boy. We're in trouble here. We're in big trouble. Marius, yeah. Okay, so you can't win them all, can you guys? We can't win them all. Let's go against the next one. We show you the wins. We show you the losses. Look at this tanky-ass team here. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. So I'm sure they're all under Stone. Not Arbiter. All right, Arbiter is going to be our target here, okay? Can we kill her with that big fat bolster shield on, though? The bolster set Necret. I don't know. Oh, we didn't. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Boom. Be gone, fools. And then Fabian, you're up, buddy. Boom. Increased cooldown is crucial on Siegfried because he can't transform anyway, right? Gonna go in with the A2, Mithrala. Now we got all those hexes up. I have the power. Don't kill everybody. Don't kill. Did you hear me? I said don't kill everybody. Cool thing is, they have petrification. We're gonna go against Cupidus, and we're gonna petrify, or they have block damage, excuse me. Petrification, because this team is chock full of it, keep in mind that goes in there and it removes the buffs that they have. So now let's get rid of stupid Siegfried. Petrified. It's actually turned out pretty well, right? Because now we can go in here and kind of show how OP all this petrification on one team is. I'm just going to go with the A3 here. I didn't notice if anybody has polymorph, but I don't want to mess around with it. Now, the question here I have is, can He-Man without Savage finish this team off with the Necrit on there, right? Another petrification, though. This is pretty freaking nasty. A big nuke from, maybe. Let's see if he loses his turn. Can you tell I'm excited about this champion, guys? I don't know. Okay. Let's get in there and let's try to pop off. No, let's just try to pop off everybody. Who am I kidding? Boom! All right. This is fun, man. This is a fun champion. Let me go against, let me show you just a random team, right? Random team. Now we got Armands and Marius. A little redundancy here, right, in terms of what we're doing. But we get Armands and Fabian and Marius. And I threw Cardinal on there to be cute too, right? Just in case something goes wrong. Let's get rid of Gurgo the Augur. And then let's go in and do what we do. They're already stunned. Now they're decreased cooldown. Now we get the extra turn. We go in and petrify. Let's buff everybody up. And then let's bring the hammer, the Marius hammer down. Oh my word. Do we even need Cardinal on this team? I don't even know. It's just chain CC. It can go auto here, right? It's just chain CC. Oh, wait. Gurgo, you weren't supposed to take a turn? What? Fabian, you weren't supposed to die? All right, we're good, I think, right? Oh, yeah. Armand's like, I got this. Freezes for days. Cardinal picks him up, kills Gurgo the Augur, decreased cooldown, and there we go, man. This champion is a menace, this Fabian, guys. He is a menace. I really, really like him. What a cool addition to the game. Congratulations if you're going for the fusion, guys. He's a really, really fun champion. I want to inspire you a little bit. Odds are you don't have all the champions that I highlighted to play around Fabian, but I hope to prove the point that this guy can fit on any sort of team out there. He's very, very versatile against any wave content or any boss with minions. That's where we're going to be using this guy. HellHades.com ranks him a 4 grade overall out of 5. It's hard to rank him. He is a bit narrow in his utility against bosses, right? However, in the arena, he's an easy 5 out of 5. Area rankings you guys can see here on the screen right now. We're going to end it there, guys. Use one of these builds. Let me know what you think of Fabian, whatever the hell his name is, when you get him. Thank you for watching till the end of the video. And as always, take care, guys. Hey guys, that's your Rage Legends. Welcome to the video. Sending some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there today. Guys, so Christmas morning, I wake up at 6 a.m. because my kid is jumping on me. So I go downstairs, we're opening up gifts, and here I am, 6 a.m. What did my son get for me? My favorite candy, Sour Patch Kids. So I pop me some Sour Patch Kids up. You know, I'm a normal human being. I don't eat just one at a time. I shove like 10 of these bad boys in my mouth, and I'm chewing. And wouldn't you know, TMI here, but a piece of my tooth falls out. That's how you know you're getting old, right? It's like an old filling or something. Anyway, now my tongue is like, every time I talk, basically, it kills.
Where's the delayed
So I'm
death
gonna try
one?
to power through for you guys in the name of Teleria Raid Shadow Legends. But golly, it kills. I had to go to like a convenience store and put some like braces stuff, like wax, on my teeth. So I feel like I can't talk. So if I'm slurring my words, it's not too much eggnog. Your boy just has a Sour Patch tooth decay breaking issue. Anyway, today I want to talk about the big three in the arena right now. The 3 champions that truly define this meta. And I'm going to be real with you guys. These champions, at one point or another, were all free. So I'm talking about a fusion or a champion that somehow you can get for free. You know, I've talked about this in the past too. But sometimes there's this weird stigma in this game, at least amongst us pay-to-winners, right? Where a champion that's free, I'll probably just keep pounding away with mythical champions, right? Fully empowered, fully awakened mythicals, no big deal, right? No big deal. Because I think that psychologically, at least for me, sometimes, it's almost like a subconscious type thing. It's like, dude, I got this champion. I defied the odds, the RNG odds, and I got this mythical champion. I want to use him, damn it, right? But the truth is, for me in live arena, I play a lot of live arena, man. I've been loving it lately. I'm creeping up on 20,000 live arena points. How much do you guys play, first of all? And if so, what are your points right now in the game? What is your biggest pain point of live arena? What do you want to see, especially if you don't play it a lot? What do you want to see Plarium go in and adjust for you to play it more? I still want like different sorts of leagues within live arena, not just a season thing, but actually like, you know, I still want all epics, all force, all whatever. I want them to have different varieties. That's just me. But anyway, you can see my stats, especially considering my account, aren't that great. And the truth is, what am I right now? 2,000 in the world, right? But these guys, I mean, 38,000 battles won. I thought I was no-lifing it at 5,600. But let me tell you a little story about my live arena, especially my season arena. So last season, I really started to hit what I thought was my stride in live arena, right? And this applies to all PvP, not just live arena. But I made a big adjustment in last season. So I only played 223 battles. It was a little bit low for me during the seasons, but I just wanted to get my mats and that was it and walk away. Had a lot going on prepping for the holidays and whatnot. That all being said, though, I made a big adjustment, right? I started drafting 3 specific champions. And the irony here on these 3 specific champions that define the meta is they all counter each other, you know, either a hard counter or a soft counter, and we'll talk about it. I started using these more free, accessible champions, right? And the more I used them, the more I won. For 2 reasons. Number 1, all 3 of these champions are absolutely phenomenal, right? Number 2 is it prevented my opponents from drafting these damn champions and me having to ban them every single time. And I guess, yeah, those are the number 2. Those are the number 1 and the number 2 reasons. I was like, number 3, I love them. Number 4, I love them a really lot. And the champions are, without any further ado, is Lord Entertainer Fabian. Listen, Fabian has passed up Armand's in the meta. Not to say that Armand still isn't, you know, you can make a case he's number 4 or whatever, right? He's right up there. But nobody is dominating this meta like Lord Entertainer Fabian, a previous Fusion champion. What I'm going to do, by the way, in this video, after I introduce the 3 meta champions, is I'm going to share some tips, some best options for relics, blessings, depending on how much your awakening is on these champions, as well as going over my masteries, and I'll even play a live arena match or 2 at the end of the video. Fabian counters champion number 2, Marius, okay? So Marius the Gallant, surprise, surprise, he's still on top, right? Marius is just insane. Marius might be the best thing that they've ever done in Raid Shadow Legends because unlike Fabian and unlike the 3rd champion that I'm about to talk about here, Marius is S tier everywhere in the game. Not just in the arena where he can single-handedly negate or better, more appropriate, delete Stone Skin. He's tough to deal with, and he is a counter to the one weakness of Fabian, which is mythical champions. Because obviously, you know, so Marius can counter, I don't know, maybe an Embreeze. And Embreeze, wouldn't you know, is one of the best soft counters to a Fabian. Because, of course, Embreeze can just switch forms and dominate on his 2nd form, where he's absolutely insane as well. But then again, Marius can counter Embreeze a bit to prevent him from switching forms, which you really want to do. And if you're going against Embreeze, I'm sure we've all been there. It's like that ticking time bomb where we want to kill Embreeze, or at least control him before he switches to that lethal 2nd form. So these are the 3 big champions right now in the meta, all for their very own reasons, all for their unique reasons. But, you know, listen, there's a lot of other good champions. Star Sage, Nice, Marichka. You know, these are by far and away not the only meta champions. But to me, these are the 3 that I started playing more and more and more earlier in my drafts and earlier in my drafts. And wouldn't you know, go figure, I started winning a hell of a lot more, even over some of my OP champions, right, that I have on my account, like Comedus's and Lazarius's and the Cock and Allah's and Siegfried. Not to say that they're better than all those champions, but the truth of the matter is this game, there's a meta inside the meta, especially in PvP. You have to be selective with who you're going with to counter, obviously, what your opponent drafts. Now, I'm not going to get into all of that counterplay in today's video. For example, a champion like Night Queen Crixia, if you have her, you could draft her to counter a Fabian, right? So there's always a counter to a counter, then a counter to that counter, which is why I love PvP so much. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about these 3 champions briefly talk about their very best builds, in my opinion, some options for you guys out there, because obviously I'm on a very endgame account, but a lot of these principles, kind of these staples of these champion builds will pertain to all of you guys. So here we go. Let's start with Fabian, man. Lord, man, there's a lot of lords, huh? Golly. I didn't realize. Hive Lord, we've got a Lord Shazar, a Tomb Lord, a War Lord, a Lord Champfort, the Skull Lord, Hackhorn Smash Lord. Hey, we need a Lord tier list, said nobody. We even got a Vermin Lord. All right, back to Fabian. I mean, there's nobody in this game like Fabian, right? You go in there, this is polymorph proof, this ability here. You go in there before attacking, you have a 100% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns. Decreased duration of enemy buffs, especially for new players out there, that will not get you polymorphed. It has to be remove buffs to get polymorphed. Granted extra turn if there are no buffs on the enemy team before the attack. You know, that's a sneaky little move too. You can reset if there are no buffs, especially mid-match, and get that extra turn. Sometimes, back before I played Fabian all the time, I forgot about that part. I'm just going to be real with you guys. And I'm like, what, are they running him in Relentless? I forgot that he has that extra turn, right? And then also has a 100% chance of increasing the cooldown of all enemy skills by 3 turns. Super freaking strong, obviously. 4-turn cooldown too. But then he has this nasty petrification, the true fear, and then again activates the skill whenever an enemy under fear or true fear successfully uses a skill. He becomes a true fear machine. This little fella, Lord Entertainer Fabian can just totally change the dynamics of a match, and he can be one of the most frustrating champions to go against in the entire game because of how many fears and true fears and petrifications that he's dishing out between putting all your skills on cooldown and removing all of your buffs. And then whenever anybody's revived, you get the true fear on them. And then for me, what puts him over the top as one of, if not the best control champions, I'll just say it, the best control champion in the game, is this. Removes CC debuffs outside of Sheep from this champion before the start of their turn. So you can't even CC him. In this incredibly freeze-heavy meta, I'm seeing more and more Sir Nicks. I'm starting to see more and more Lady Noels, obviously Hilvies and Tormans. We don't have to worry about that, right? We don't have to worry about freeze and all the rest of them at the same time. Man, that's nasty. That is nasty. So what do we want to do with Fabian? Obviously, in a perfect world, when we're playing Fabian, we want the opponent to actually go first, but it's no big deal if we go first too. So we want him fast, right? We want him fast with a hell of a lot of accuracy. So we want Fabian to go first or go after, ideally, go after the enemy team buffs up. Hopefully not like a Siffy because those buffs are likely going to be protected. But, you know, in most scenarios, we want to go in with Fabian right after the opponent goes with maybe an Arbias or an Arbiter, gets a few buffs up, and then boom, we take him back and we neutralize everybody outside of Mythicals on the enemy team. Really, really strong. Thus, I love going with Temporal Chains on a 6-star on this champion. However, I will say that even a 5-star, right, is pretty powerful in terms of reduces enemy speed by 5% for each active buff, up to 15%. At 6, you get the instant decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 15% whenever an enemy receives a 3rd active buff, plus the minus 5% speed for each buff they're under. This is one of the most disgustingly powerful blessings in the entire game at 5 and especially 6 stars, okay? If I go against a Lord Entertainer Fabian, and he doesn't have a Temporal Chains at a 6-star, I consider it a win personally. But the other option, in my opinion, would be, and this is probably by far the second most popular choice for Fabian at 6 stars, is Intimidating Presence, right? At 5 or 6 stars, especially 6. He does have the speed aura, so of course, makes a lot of sense to go ahead and use him in that regard as well. Now, if you don't have him at 6 stars or 5 stars, I'd probably just go Polymorph, because we're building him with a lot of accuracy anyway, so we don't really care that it's irresistible as much as we would on other champions, so I'd probably go Polymorph. That's where my head's at when it comes to blessings on Fabian. When it comes to the relic on Fabian, I think the top 2 relics are Wand of Submission, which is like just basically a go-to on this champion. And I think I'm not sure if I have any non-equipped right now, but I think a sneaky second choice for Fabian, and a really good one at that, is let me just go to my damn rarity here. Too many relics here. I don't sell relics like I should, guys, as you guys can see. But here it is. It's a clan, the Temporal Stagnator, okay? Where it has a 20% chance to remove, steal, or convert buffs or increase a skills cooldown when landing a weak hit. This was practically made for Fabian's A3 ability, right? Because it's going to help us remove buffs and increase skills cooldown on weak hits. Very powerful if you don't have Wand of Submission, and we can easily get that to level, not easily, but I guess everything's relative, but we can get it up to 35% chance at level 4, which is fairly, manageable for a lot of players, getting it to level 12. So I love this Temporal Stagnator as a second option behind the Wand of Submission on Fabian. Okay, so we talked a little bit about his blessing and his relic. Let's talk about the gear. I am never, ever, under any circumstance, personally, running a Lord Entertainer Fabian without a 4-piece supersonic on him, right? Because of what we just talked about. Fills his champion's turn meter by 2% for each buff on each enemy. So that can quickly jack up his turn meter, especially in conjunction with Temporal Chains. And we're going to cut that line. We're going to put everything on cooldown and remove all of their non-protected buffs at the same time, thus neutralizing the enemy, the opponent. I get asked this a lot in the comments. I want to answer once definitively. Temporal Chains does not stack. Meaning, if I have 2 or 3 Temporal Chains champions on my team and the enemy team launches a Sifigos, 3 buffs, let's just pretend they're unprotected, not that it really matters, right? It's not like we're going to get their speed reduced to like 45% or anything like that, or get a massive 30 or 45% turn meter decrease depending on if I have a few champions on my team with Temporal Chains. I say that because I do see some players running 2 Temporal Chains together at times in Classic Arena, and I'm not sure if they realize that they do not stack. Temporal Chains, in terms of the way that the blessing works, it's like a universal debuff that the entire team has one, and they don't stack up. Masteries basically went down, picked up more accuracy with Eagle Eye, right? I do like his A1 as well, so I picked up Retribution and Deterrence. I don't need Lore of Steel here, but those are the pretty self-explanatory there in terms of the blessings. I already talked about Supersonic. It's super powerful. I also like Pinpoint. Now, you could go 4-piece Supersonic with 4-piece Stone Skin instead, but I personally like the 4-piece Pinpoint and the 4-piece Supersonic if you have a Temporal Chains on him, right? Because usually you're going to end up going first or second. You'll either be the first champion to go after your speed booster maybe, or you're going to wait till the enemy team gets buffed, have Supersonic and Temporal Chains, jack up your turn meter, and then you're going to go. If you don't have a High Awakening on him, and maybe you don't have good Supersonic gear, you could just go Stone Skin and Perception, something pretty basic like that, especially in the early to mid game. All right, so that's Fabian, man. So my total stats on my Fabian, this is my main gear, my main Fabian, 400 speed, but again, it can be deceptive. You can get a lot faster with a Supersonic Temporal, and then I have him at 781 accuracy. That's all that really matters, speed and accuracy. Obviously, survival is nice too, but there it is. That's Fabian, and he is a one-man controller like no other in the game. And it's crazy too, because Armand's is so good. I didn't mean to knock him earlier, but to me, he's not like Fabian. Not right now, not in this meta. However, Armand's is better generally against mythical champions. All right, let's go to Mary. Now let's go to Embrace. Embrace is so nasty, man. He is so nasty, this guy, dude. It's tough because ultimately, when you talk about Arena, sure, we have gear presets in the game right now, right? But you have to build quite a few champions because, especially in live arena, you need to draft. And even in classic arena, you do want to match and counter what the defensive team is doing. So you can't just use your very best gear on every single champion. You have to have them all built. So you have to make tough decisions, especially if you've been playing a game a long time and you have a lot of champions. So for me, I try to really start relying on Embrace, Marius. I still have my Taurus built to go with Marichka. I still think he's underrated actually with Marichka right now. But who am I going? I'm going with Gallius. And I'm trying to think, is that all I am running for really strong HP or defense-based damage dealers right now? I have others built. I have Polara built. I have Alaz built, but not in good gear, you know? So I've tried to refine, and what I'm trying to tell you guys is I've tried to refine my damage dealers into, trying to narrow it down a little bit more than I previously did. Now, there might be a few others. Obviously, I'm still running some Gizmak and Cometus, and sorry for just picking mythicals. They're just the first on my list here. I'm still running a lot of champions, but I'm trying to, say I can't gear everybody in the best gear. All right, Embry's the anomaly, man. This dude. This dude. I'll be real with you guys. To my previous point, I stopped using Embry's as much. I was using, other champions, mythicals mainly, but then I went back to Embry's, and as soon as I did, I just started winning a hell of a lot more. Embry's is one of those champions, I'm sure you've been there too. If you have Embry's, if you use Embry's, which I hope most of you do if you have them, right? But he's one of those champions that like your whole team can be wiped out, and he can just solo you win them. He can just solo the rest, right? Between his necrosis, which is so nasty, especially as it gets stacking and stacking and stacking. But obviously, yeah, he has a stone skin removal. You got to be careful with the Void Stare, especially with Polymorph. Sometimes it's better not to use it. Sometimes it's better just to open up and go right into his alternate form, right? You got to realize also his alternate form is not the end of the world, but it's significantly slower than his base form, but it makes up for it by having more HP, which is obviously his damage scaling stat. How about his active effect, where he revives himself and reflects all that damage back, usually killing somebody, thus putting more necrosis stacks on the enemy team? Let's talk about probably the biggest threat of all of Embry's, his freaking Unmaker's Blade, his A1 ability. I have nightmares about this ability, right? I have nightmares about this Unmaker's Blade, because honestly, his whole kit is just lethal, very strong, especially on his alternate form. But this A1, there's nothing like it, especially if somebody's already dead, so you can get the 2 hits because there's a necrosis stack in the battle because it's block revive. Of course, Embry's does have 2 sources of damage, HP and accuracy, but you don't want to build any accuracy on Embry's. It's better to get the double damage. Even though you get a little bit more oomph with accuracy on the A1, I found that extra damage, or ignore 50% of enemy's defense, I find that more valuable on the A2 because Atomize can absolutely just decimate everybody. Your life is forfeit. Listen, this move, I used to, like, right when I got my Embry's, I used to open up, I used to switch forms, sometimes Void Stare, then I would switch forms, and then I would open up with your life is forfeit. Basically, I would swap HP just to get the ignore defense up by 10%, right? Which is really powerful, man. I mean, I'm already running him in lethal gear as is with Helm Smasher, so I'm rocking potentially 60% ignore defense. That's insane. But not in every situation is a little bit different, but henceforth, I made a change. Now I'm opening up, if I have an easy target, if I can kill their nuker and they only have 1 or something, I'm just going to go in with the A1, forget everything else, right? Block revive, right? But oftentimes, I just lead with Atomize right away for 2 reasons. Number 1 is I can get back to Atomize in 2 turns instead of 3 if I take the extra turn ability, or yeah, exactly, 2 turns instead of 3. If I take this ability on the next move instead, right? I can cycle because it grants an extra turn. But the other reason is, if somebody hits him, decently hard in between when we open up with Atomize in his next turn, it's a beautiful opportunity to swap HP, which does not require accuracy, and then you can kill him with the A1. And then the next turn, your Atomize is off cooldown again. Really strong synergy on that A3 and the A1 and an extra turn, block revive, you name it. All right, so we know he's a beast. I went with Lightning Cage on my Embry's, the Anomaly. Of course, he does have Stone Skin. We really want one thing on Embry's. We want him to take a turn, right? Because we talked about this earlier, but the one time Embry's is most vulnerable is before he takes his first turn and before he switches into his alternate form. So we got to protect that Stone Skin. So Lightning Cage is by far the most popular blessing on Embry's. But if you want another option on Embry's, I would go with Life Harvest, okay? Life Harvest is very nasty as a sneaky option on Embry's. Why? Because how do you counter Embry's? First of all, you kind of don't. He's so powerful, right? Granted, block damage, does the job. But you need to revive. Because reviving in Stone Skin, placing Stone Skin buffs, like Leo and our bias, right, are the only things that remove necrosis stacks. And necrosis stacks are lethal because they do a hell of a lot of damage, and he can get the double hit when they exist on the battlefield with his A1. So enemies want to remove it as quickly as possible. Thus, they want to revive as quickly as possible. So what's the best blessing to counter revive? Obviously, it's Life Harvest. So every time, if you have it at 6 stars, right? Every time an enemy is revived, you cut their HP by almost half. Destroys enemies' max HP by 40% when they're revived. Moreover, you fill 30% of this champion's turn meter on every revive. And again, players are obviously naturally going to be wanting to revive a lot on Embrys. Beautiful, beautiful. Even at 5 stars, 30% HP reduction, 20% turn meter fill. Even at 3, 20% turn meter, 10% turn meter fill. I mean, this is a very underrated blessing. I've mentioned it many, many times here on the channel before, but I think Life Harvest would be my second option. My third would probably be Soul Reap for Embrys the Anomaly. Masteries, kept it pretty simple. We don't want accuracy, so I kept it on the defense and the offense. These are the masteries that I am rocking on my Embrys the Anomaly. However, I will say, now that I look at them, I think I would actually, this is tough, right? Because when we look at methodical, deterrence, and retribution, vice versa, you guys get what I'm saying, right? When we look at those 3 masteries on the tier 5 levels, they're all about maximizing the prowess of his A1 ability, which is one of the highlights of his kit, right? I love the idea of increasing the damage up to 10%. That's pretty nasty. But I also love the idea of just counterattacking with retribution or deterrence. So I guess I stand by my choices here, but you do want to get some value in this tier 5 out of his A1 vis-a-vis counterattacks. I have Ruthless Ambush on him. I have Opportunist on him as well. I have Cycle of Violence, certainly can proc it very easily. I stayed away from, obviously, the left-hand side of the offensive tree because he's going to have more HP most times than the enemies. Talking about the rest of the build here, Wand of Submission, for me, it's the way to go. Outside Mythical, I'm not giving Mythical recommendations because I think that you guys, if you have Mythicals, you probably know they're pretty good. But, of course, you can go with Cat's Gaze as well on Embrys if you have a few of them. I have 2, and they're on Titus and Siegfried. I'm not going to move them on my account. But I think that Wand is very good, generally on anybody, including Embrys the Anomaly. Stars of Jiajing or Jianeng or whatever the hell it is, very good as well. Embrys, when we're building him, we want him in Stone Skin and Lethal, Stone Skin and Savage, right? It's as easy as that. You could consider maybe Mercurial if you wanted to, but for me, now we'll go Stone Skin, Lightning Cage, thank you very much. To me, it's the safe choice, it's the best choice for Embrys. Pretty simple. That being said, the fundamentals here. We don't want any accuracy. I have 175 on my build. That's fine. By the way, this is his base form. He's at 293 speed, but when we switch to his alternate form, he's at 287 speed, but his HP goes up significantly, 117k. So when we're building Embrys, we want, in terms of stat priorities, 100% crit rate, and then as much speed, HP, and crit damage as we can get. Okay, this is an endgame build, so my priority, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, and people got on me about it in the comments, but, you know, I'm just trying to be real with you guys, too. I said that I build my nukers as close to 300 speed as I humanly can, and a lot of people in the comments were like, yeah, whatever, you're unrelatable and out of touch. I'm like, dude, I'm an endgame player. You should still take that nugget and try to build your nukers to be faster. Some of you who might be trying to get by with slow nukers out there. And again, that doesn't apply to every champion in the game, but just generally, I'm trying to quicken up my nukers. At the very least, you don't want to give your opponents too many ample opportunities to cut in line and go ahead of your nukers after your turn meter boosters, right? So just make sure your speeds align in that respect. Talked about priorities, talked about builds. He's a fairly, I don't want to say easy champion to build, but you know what you need, right? You know what you need, and you don't need accuracy, which is nice. So I do have HP on the banner. I have crit damage on the amulet. I have HP on the chest. I have speed on the boots, and I have crit damage on the gauntlets. Let's move on over to Marius. I mean, nobody really counters Embrys, really, but Marius can be a counter, a viable kind of triangle. So when we put this all together, before we get into Marius, when we're drafting in the arena, right? What I tend to do is, with my first pick, I don't go with any of these 3 champions, even after I told you guys, for my first pick in Live Arena, even after I just told you guys that they're the best 3 champions that define the meta, because I like to react. I don't want to give my opponent the ability to react to me. If I go Fabian, they could just draft all mythicals. If I could go Marius, they could plan on banning him and work around, or they could go with no mythical strategy, or they could go with a Fabian to lock out Marius, right? So I like reacting, not being the one to pick a bold play that people know how to react to, okay? So thus, I always open up with a easy, safe support pick, like a Marichka or a Galathier, whoever you have, right? A support champion, a revive or something like that, because those, you know, you can't really, and then for the most part, you can't really counter them, right? I'm sure you can react to them, but they're a support, they're a reviver, they're a cleanser. So Marius is still one of the best answers we have to mythical champions in the game, really for a couple reasons. Obviously, he's going to auto with his Auric Lance, his A1 ability when they switch forms, which is just so powerful. It's an AoE attack, and it has that enfeeble as well. Ooh, that's nasty. So even if you don't kill them, you might enfeeble them, right? And enfeeble, you can get that chance up from 50 to 55 with Sniper as well. Keep in mind the Sniper Mastery, Tier 5 Support Mastery, it does work with enfeeble, so does Master Hexer, so it can be extended as well. I don't build my Marius with the support tree, but it is worth noting, again, that enfeeble, it will work Sniper and Master Hexer, which if you are going support, it would behoove you to choose those masteries. All right, so back to Marius. I have accuracy on the banner, I have crit damage on his amulet. I have defense on his ring. I have speed on his boots. What is going on over here? Am I out of Chaos Ore? I had to swap out my my chess piece recently. We really want defense. Marius, I'm going to be real with you guys. There's only one knock on him, and it's barely we got it! On our last Chaos Dust, too. There's only one knock on Marius, and that is he's kind of tough to build. I'm going with a 6-star. Okay, we'll take it. Because we want a lot more than we did on the other champions we spoke about. We want speed, we want defense, we want crit rate, we want crit damage, and we want accuracy. His saving grace is his A3 ability, though. His A3 ability, he brings his own increased accuracy and increased defense, as well as a stun that you have to be careful of vis-a-vis polymorph, right? As well as a stun on the enemy with the highest turn meter for 1 turn. You should, when going into a match with Marius, just try to take a mental note on who has polymorph on the enemy's team, right? That way, if they have the highest turn meter, you might want to forego going in with Galloping Thunder first and go right into Death or Glory, thus not incurring a potential sheep polymorph on Marius because they have the highest turn meter, okay? Super simple again. Stone Skin lethal, just like Embry's, only defense instead of HP as a damage source priority, right? So Stone Skin lethal, Stone Skin Savage, both work just absolutely beautifully. That's the best build for Marius in the arena. You can entertain Slayer for PvE, but personally, I run this everywhere in PvE, and I am thrilled with the damage and all the results. I like having my Marius as fast as possible, just like everybody else. I've already made that point. I'm not going to repeat it. 100% crit rate is going to be imperative on this champion, and then 276 crit damage. I have 6,700 on the defense and 425 on the accuracy, which again is going to be increased by around 200 or so, which is generally enough, but not against like Star Sages and really high resistance enemies, maybe like a Pythion out there. You might have to be careful. I'm not always going to get the reduction on the Death or Glory ability. Whenever an enemy changes form or attempts to decrease this champion's turn meter, counterattacks using this champion's default skill. This neutralizes Lazarius's and Shuzen's and any A1 that steals turn meter or anything like that. You have to be careful with temporal chains as well, because again, a decreased champion's turn meter will proc an AoE from Marius on his Auric Lance. So you do have to be very, very careful of Marius. Be very careful of all the different ways. Even, for example, a Evil Eye. Decreased target's turn meter when this champion hits them with the default skill for the first time. These are ways that when you're going against Marius, you do have to be very careful and cognizant of all the unorthodox ways that we can reduce turn meter in this game, right? Wand of Submission, surprise, surprise. Cat's Gaze would be my second choice for Marius the Gallant, but I love the wand. Now for blessings, we do have a few options for blessings on Marius. I see people mainly go with Cruelty, Crushing Rend, or Soul Reap, okay? I like Crushing Rend at 6 stars, even in the arena, but because it costs us a bunch of gems to be switching around our blessings all the time, I still run Crushing Rend, obviously in PvE, where it's extremely beneficial, especially in wave content, but really in any content because the levels are so high. But I keep Crushing Rend even for the arena, because Marius hits very, very hard, but we can use every amount of extra damage that we can get on Marius. So I'll take the Crushing Rend, even though it's only an additional 6% ignore defense. It does, I mean, ignore defense is the strongest move in this game in terms of escalating your damage against the opponent, so I will take it. You could even go Polymorph if you wanted to on Marius, especially if you're building him with enough accuracy. If you're not 6 stars is another option. But I think, again, Cruelty, especially in PvE, is very good. He has all those AoEs. You're going to get that decreased defense in no time on Cruelty, so it is a very viable option. In the arena, though, I do like Crushing Rend and Soul Reap a bit better. If I didn't go Crushing Rend, I would go Soul Reap, because Soul Reap, in about 6 stars, that's a very high HP threshold at 20%. And if they survive, you get a True Fear as well. It's really powerful at 5 and 6 stars, especially on Soul Reap. So those would be my considerations. I just showed you my masteries on Marius, but here they are again. Getting those counterattacks again, with the Retribution, with the Deterrence. And again, you can see I made that same decision that I made on Embry's. Basically, this is almost a mirror image of Embry's masteries here on my Marius. But yeah, this is my favorite build on Marius the Gallant. Again, nothing wrong with foregoing the defense tree and going support tree, ending up with Sniper and Master Hexer as well. All right, guys, so I promised you a little bit of live arena. We're going against Shiny Star 19, only 5,600 trophies, so hopefully it's a good matchup here. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I was going to make an individual video on all of these champions, but I thought, you know what? They're all defining the meta. As you can see, Fabian picked first. I don't like Fabian picked first, though. I don't mind Embry's. He's a little tougher to deal with, or even a Marius. I don't love Fabian because we can get around him. So we're just going to go mythical heavy. I apologize. We're going to go with Embry's and Star Sage Galather, which is exactly what I would do, even if I wasn't filming, right? So this is how I'd react to that draft pick. Marius is still available, who would be very good for him to draft against me, now that I've led off with 2 mythicals. I generally stay base form with Star Sage Galather, the way that I play him, but not all the time, obviously. We could obviously ban Fabian if we wanted to, but we need more info. He's going to go with Tormund, probably Hilvi, in an Armon's team. So I'm actually going to go with Marichka, because I have to start thinking about my speed auras. So I'm going to go Marichka and Lazarius, who's the fastest champion on my account, and a turn meter booster. It's tempting to go Marius, but he has no mythicals here, and I still feel pretty strong, and I could still go Marius last pick because I have my 2 speed auras already selected. I have my support champions already selected in Star Sage and Marichka, and I have my offensive threats in Embry's and Lazarius, so I can just purely react to what he's going to do here. So I am going to go Marius, damn it, because it's his spotlight video anyway, and there's a lot of buffs that I need removed here on this team. But I'm going to have to ban my Fabian, unfortunately, and keep Noel and Sir Nick together. I'm surprised he didn't go Hilvi, though. Or she? I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't go Hilvi. I'll come back to you guys when we get in the match. All right, guys, they banned my Lazarius, so I'm going to go with Marichka as my lead and hope that I'm fast enough to go first over Armons on their team. And we do go first. My Star Sage Galather isn't that fast, so I'm going to turn meter boost with, and look at that freeze right back on Tormund. I love that. I didn't notice, I should have looked, but I didn't, to see who had Polymorph on their team. So shame on me. We're going to open up right up with Atomize. And we killed 2 of them right out the gate. And now, I mean, I'm just going to go right in with a Death or Glory and get rid of his Reviver. So he's already in a very, very bad spot here. So this one's pretty much over. Let's go ahead and do one more here, guys. I'm actually going to be pretty aggressive and just try to end this one. And there he goes. They quit the match. Let's go into the next match. All right, guys. Stormy Rider. Jinx stands for Jinx. There it is. I usually don't play during this time slot here, midday. But he starts with Embry's. So, I mean, hell, we're going to go with 1-2. Marius and Star Sage. So you can see Embry's, Fabian first picked the first match. Embry's first picked the second match. Ah, man. I really wish they would add a mythical wish list, right? To the Soul Stones. I wish they would add a slot in the shop too, but at least a wish list, you know? And a slot, damn it. All right, they go Rhodos, my favorite nuker, and they go with Odin. Interesting. We're just going to go speed again, and we're going to go with, we're going to go with Gallius, right? We're going to go Gallius. A good little Rhodos counter. Not full counter. Nobody full counters Rhodos. So they have a 6-star Crushing Rend Rhodos, a 6-star Intimidating Presence Odin, and a non-awakened. And they go Cometus, and they go Raka. Interesting, interesting. We're going to go with Marichka again. Marichka again. I have a nice tanky team. And golly, who do I want to ban here? I think I want to ban Rotos, actually. You know what? Even though I have a lot of power to withstand Rotos, he has single-handedly effed me over so many times in the past that I have a healthy fear and appreciation for this champion. I know that Kamitas, I can probably circumvent. I have 2 block debuffs champions on my team, even though he has buff removal. I'm not really worried about that. So anyway, let's go ahead and here. Look at their turn meters. They're fairly low. So I'm just going to go right in with the A2, try to remove some buffs, and we do a good job of that. I'm going to get an extra turn. Of course, I run my Star Sage Galathier in Relentless gear. Now we're going to go ahead and buff up. I'm actually going to go ahead and keep the cock. Nah, I'm not going to keep the cock. I'm going to switch forms. I like keeping the, I want to wait an hour. I'm in the middle of recording. All right. We're going to use his base form, try to reduce some of that duration. Let's go in, Galloping Thunder, get that extra accuracy, and we don't get the kills there, but it's okay. We're going to switch forms with Lazarius, and we're going to go ahead and pop off. We do have block debuffs on everybody, so we're just going to pop off the Reviver there because he can't really do much here. He can switch forms and land a bomb? It's not going to do anything, right? And again, switch forms, sometimes we land that in Feeble and it's already game over there, right? But man, listen, we can probably end the video here, but hopefully I've given you guys some motivation when it comes to using these 3 all-star studs. You probably already were, but hopefully you can make an adjustment or two to some of these builds, maybe tweak things a little bit, and maybe allocate some of your very best gear to these champions, because I promise you, they're freaking worth it. Guys, thanks so much for watching the video till the end. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.
From dusk till dawn, I turn my speakers on. Why they wanna play with the king? I told them meet LeBron. There's darkness in my city, wrong moves, and you won't see the sun. They be talking loud, but never been where the creatures hunt.
Hey guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am not alone. I am joined by FedEx. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? No braids, no braids.
Oh, it's good to be back. Good to be back. Yeah, Void Legendary Phoenix here.
Yeah,
or
man.
Void Mythical, I should say, right?
Yeah.
Right?
You know what?
Yeah.
Like, I've been calling Fenix you so much that you've become like a reoccurring character now on my channel. Do you know that? Because I don't even call him Fenix. I just call him Nub every time I talk about the champion himself.
Yeah, even my mother calls me Fanax now. I can't get away from it. Yeah, terrible.
Same
She doesn't. She
doing
has no
everything.
idea what this game is whatsoever. But she's proud nonetheless.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's going to do it for the video, guys. So today we're going to have some fun. First of all, Happy New Year, man. How you doing?
Yeah, no, doing really good. Yeah.
Good.
It's been a good year so far. Looking
Right?
forward to the rest of it. Most of it still to come, eh?
For sure, for sure. And I'm going to release this in a few days, but that means your video is already out. We just did like an hour-long combo that you guys are really going to enjoy. Watch this video first, though, please. But you guys are going to enjoy it. We talked about all the upcoming things throughout the entire year, and we kind of ranked how hyped we are for each of them, everything that we know. And honestly, dude, you did all the back work. There was a lot more than I expected that we already know about coming, you know? So that was really fun.
They've been teasing a lot. Yeah. Well, I mean, for this video, I'm following your example with the New Year's resolution, standing desk.
Standing
look at
desk. Look at
Fitness
that.
is one standing desk away. Here we go.
Dude, I did a video recently, my very first, where I did a whole video outdoors, man. I did an outdoor video, and it was really fun. I liked it. I just took a walk and I just started talking to the camera. So I'm gonna do it again sometime. But anyway,
I've thought about doing that. I might.
it's
follow
fun,
suit.
man. I'm gonna
Walking
start
the
doing
dog.
them.
Yeah.
Anytime that you just have like an opinion-based video or something like that, where you don't need the gameplay, like I think I'm gonna start doing it. But anyway, I digress, man. We're here to talk about champions. Do you have like we're gonna do the best and the worst? Like you won or you lost the game by pulling this champion, a little hyperbolic, right? Legendary in every faction of the game. Before that, I just gotta know, inquiring minds want to know, have you pulled any good, like really banger champions lately on your account?
Ooh, I actually have. So from a Remnant summon from the Grim Forest, I got Aphidus, the Hive Lord.
Ooh, congrats. Congrats.
Yeah, so he's pretty fun. He's definitely not one of the best mythicals, but he's still pretty cool. So I'm having actually a lot of fun building him up. I'm excited to take him into Grim Forest next rotation. I think he'd be amazing there.
Yeah.
So he's cool. I'm freaking loving Predator. I got a 6-star soul for Predator. So new live arena season is Predator season.
Dude, Pred is, I'm starting to see, I don't know about you, because I know you're a big live arena player too. I'm starting to see a lot more Predator all of a sudden in live arena, a lot more. So yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast. That's how you know when we're pretty high in the live arena. That's how you know when you start seeing him drafted more and more. They're like, oh, he's actually gonna be meta, like, you know. Anyway, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. I don't know to say this. I just pulled Cecilia, and she's in our first faction. So I don't know if she'd been my answer, because this faction is so stacked. But why don't you go first here? You're the guest. We're gonna go pretty fast here because it's late for Nubs. He's being very generous with his time here after I just rambled for an hour about the future of Raid. What do you think, man? Who's you won Raid, you lost Raid on a legendary pull with these champions?
Let's go YOLO. Let's go with Cecilia the Red Hope for you won Raid. Let's do it. New champ. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you so much, man. Now I just need a soul for her. You know, like, I won half the battle, but even a 1-star. You know, but she's amazing, huh?
Yeah, I think she's exceptional. Like, what is crazy about her to me is her A2 alone would have made her Void Legendary for most of the time I've been playing the game. Her A3 alone would have made her an insane Void Legendary for most of the years I've been playing the game. This champion has them both. Like, that's where we're at coming into 2026. It's nuts.
It is. I mean, like,
I think she's so flexible. Insane base stats as well, like really solid. But yeah, she is just any PvE content that ever comes out in this game for like the next 5 years, you can bet that she's going to be super, super strong and viable for it. She has so much in her kit. So yeah, I think congrats. Cool. You
Thank
beat
you.
all the bosses.
I have a question for you as the curator of hellhades.com. I noticed that you guys don't have multipliers up at the time of this recording. I'm asking you, do you happen to know if her enemy max HP is a 0.1? Is it like a big enemy max HP, or you're not sure? It's a 2-time hitter. That's why I asked too, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm not sure what the multiplier is. I'd expect it to be pretty good though, but I don't know for sure. So
okay. Well, anyway, she's busted. A perfect veil, 3-turn cooldown, 2-turn duration. Even that is like a Theodosia type move, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I agree, man. I'm very excited. I haven't built her yet because I just pulled her, but very excited to use her. I'm gonna go with Marichka, man. I know it's an old choice. It's a lame choice. But she's still so freaking good, bro. Like PvE, PvP, with Taurus, without Taurus, the big heals and the cleanse and the extra turns and the block damage and the revive on everybody and the speed aura and the base stats and everything else, man. She's just I think you can make a case that she's the best legendary support in all of Raid Shadow Legends still, a couple years after her release. Okay, what about losses, man? Who's the worst?
Titus, no. Team anti-Titus though, but no, I say the worst probably legit.
You're anti-Titus? Or we're anti-Titus by not picking him? You mean?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I could pick Titus just because I don't like him. I don't like him. Oh, but no, I think Black Knight would actually probably be the worst.
Okay.
And probably has the least chance of redemption. Like Septimus is kind of rubbish, but he's cool. They might buff him. Black Knight, he looks like a rare champion. He's ugly. He's terrible. Like his selling point is increased defense on the 2-turn cooldown. Like that is just
that was cool
rough.
in 2019, bro.
Yeah,
you know.
So he's rubbish. Yeah,
okay.
He's real bad.
You know what, man? I'm gonna have to actually agree with you. You. No. I'm gonna agree with you, man. I think that Septimus, Adolin, Richtoff, they're all in the conference. There's some real stinkers here. You know. I don't think she's the worst, but I was not excited about the Manaya buff that they did, you know. I think she's too redundant, you know, with Coronar. But anyway, so I think we're on the same page, man. I think it is Black Knight. Black Knight, the cool thing about Black Knight is he's still not useless though. He sucks, but he's not like you throw him in Faction Wars, you're gonna be excited about like the little support that he brings. Okay, High Elf time, man. I'll go first on this time. You won the game, ladies and gentlemen. If you pull. Wait, are we counting unities or are we not going to count unities in this one, do you think? What do you think is the right way to do this?
I'd say count them if they are exceptional.
Yeah, there's a few exceptionals. Then I'm going to go ahead and do it then. I'm making sure I believe this before I look. I think Fina, Blade of Avaria, is the win. Raid Shadow Legends, just so much utility here. All you really need is one High Elf to get that extra turn on that A3. Of course, the more the merrier. Especially the allies ignore the target's defense when you get her really powered up. But getting that extra turn, so basically adding an increased attack, increased crit rate, increased crit damage, extra turn, block debuffs, block damage, counter attack, and reset the cooldown of their entire skills on a single target, all in essentially one turn, is pretty freaking busted. And she's really on some of the highest damage dealing teams that you find out there. Can get more out of Trundas especially, and the likes. Who are you gonna go with for the best?
Yeah, I think she's definitely the pick for the best. It's funny, like even picking a second best is tough. I think there's a pretty huge step back actually after Fina in this faction.
I think you're actually right, man. I mean, there's some that I like.
I like Atharion a lot. I will say.
Me too.
He's a lot of fun.
Me too.
So he's mini Cecilia.
Yeah.
The red
No,
hope.
I agree with you. I think Athorian might be my second guy. I don't know, but I mean, at that point, to your point though, there's you can make the case for a lot, for a lot of them. Okay, so worst, I'm gonna go with man. People still hate on Pixniel so much, but I don't think she's the worst. I think it's definitely Alexander the Sharpshooter. I think he's the worst.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Poor Simple. He was like the second dude they added on a daily login champion ever to the game after Ninja, and he was a pretty disappointing free champion to get. The thing about him is like, yeah, you can use him as an AoE decreased defense in the same way you would War Maiden, like a blue affinity, So he's got that going for him, a little bit of damage from the form to win, but he feels very squishy, not a ton of damage, and just very, very epic, like mediocre epic vibes from him. What about you?
Yep, I agree. He sucks. I will actually go with Pixniel for the simple reason.
No!
For the simple reason that you can actually get her still, and when you get her, you go, oh, she's not absolutely awful. She's not as bad as Alexander, but you go and you go, oh, she's actually not awful. What if I book her? And then you book her, and then you go, oh my god, I just spent 18 legendary skill tomes or whatever it is.
The books are pretty bad.
Yeah, and then you go, oh god, now I can't book 2 other legendaries. I've given it up for Pixniel. I'm not even going to really use her at all. So yeah, I think that's losing Raid Shadow Legends, flushing the legendary books down the toilet with her
I can't argue with. I mean, who doesn't want to put 6 books of damage into that A1, bro? Come on, man.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, they buffed her like 3 times, and I think they've done a good job overall in the buffs. The books are still not worth the books in most scenarios, so I can't disagree with you. One thing I will say, though, if you look at her passive, in the Hilvi, Tormin, Cernic, and Lady Noelle, and Buff Gurgo the Augur, and Yukimasa meta, having an immune to freeze who at the end of each enemy or ally turn removes all freeze debuffs from all allies, that's not bad for very niche situations, but I don't know if she's good enough to really say, yes, she's going to be a meta counter, So that's our best and our worst, right? Man, we're cruising here, bro. Honorable mention to, I'll give an honorable mention on the worst to Incarnate. I don't know. I was just so bummed out that they wasted Arbiter's Companion with her.
So disappointing.
Yeah, right. Do you have a favorite faction, Nubs?
I quite like Sacred Order and Knights Revenant, like, the good and evil. It's quite fun.
Now, Knights Rev is my favorite, so we can't have the same favorites. You're going to have Sacred Order, okay?
Okay.
You're up first, man. Because it's your favorite faction, we'll give you 2 choices. Go.
Okay, it lines up perfectly. You know what? Probably has to be Lady Noelle. I think, especially after they buffed Sir Nick. Fantastic. And I am like, I saw, I don't know if you know him. He's a small YouTuber. I think he's from Norway, called Fro the K.
Shout out. I don't, but I'll link him.
On Hansel and Gretel from this faction, where he got 6-star souls for them, and he is just wrecking people. It's so cool. But he also has a video with 9-piece Mercurial set on Lady Noelle, and talking about how it's insane for her, right? Because the 3 total guard stacks, stopping polymorph, stopping freezes being thrown back from wand of submission, stopping her, just stopping all the stuff, and it's just insane. Just spamming out freezes, revives, healing. If
that is busted.
Killable.
Yeah. That's a really, now that you say that, it's like, note to self, make that same video. I'll give credit, of course, but that sounds amazing. I want to try. I've been honestly thinking about doing a Mercurial video on because I want to talk
Right.
about the 9-piece. And I've finally gotten enough, so I think I can pull together one 9-piece. I'm not sure which factions, but I'm just looking at like what champion do I want it to be. But that's a really good call out there. Who's your second choice, Nubs?
It's a little tricky in terms of like Sir Nick kind of needs to go with her. I will give a special shout out to Falman Mornsword. I saw you actually did a video on him recently as well. I think he has benefited so much from the Sir Nicholas buff too, because he wants his full Sacred Order faction. And when you make like the crazy duo from the faction better, guess who benefits? The faction unity guy. He's actually kind of a monster. And guess what? Pre-faction allies on his passive, all allies immune to cooldown increasing effects. The one weakness of Mercurial, you can have your cooldowns increased. He stops it. So yeah, I think he's actually kind of sick, which is funny because I would have rated him pretty low before in terms of community.
Same. It's funny on that. I'm not sure if you guys can see my phone. Yeah, they can. I did a vote. Did you see that video that I did with him? Did you see the 3 arena teams? That
Yeah. I can see who won though. Yeah.
I did, dude. They bombed. No one voted for that team. That was the worst team. Everybody hated it. It was Falmond and Noel and Sir Nick and Siegfried. And man, 14% of the votes came on that one. I was surprised. I liked the team. All right. I'll go for my best. Man, I agree with you. You know, I hate to be chalk here, but I think Lady Noelle is the best choice and one of the strongest fusions in recent memory, and if not ever. And she's just so strong. To your point, you really love that Sir Nick with her. It's so much better. But even having the 3-turn revive with the freeze is one of the best in the game, even without Sir Nick. So I'd give it to Lady Noelle. Who are you going to give worst in your favorite faction to?
I think Matthias Blackveil might be the
I
one.
hate this guy too.
Yeah, he's really bad. He's like coming in with increased resist, reflect damage, and taunt, but on a long cooldown, it's like 3 pretty niche buffs, but not with good uptime. And then the rest of his moves is like bad damage that does a small bit of healing. It's really underwhelming, to be honest. So
I agree.
Yeah, I think he kind of sucked.
Me too. I remember I pulled him like right when he was released, and I was like, "Ooh, new champion!" And I was like, "Oh shit, he stinks." Okay, I'll go with a different one just because because there's a few stinkers here. I actually think that Gretel's really bad on her own, you know, but I'm not gonna go with her though. I think there's worse here that I could choose. Some of these guys are just old. They probably could use a buff, you know. But I'll actually go with I'll go a little controversial here. And like I was hopeful, I was wrong on her, I'll say, and I'm gonna go with April O'Neil. I think that like she's really
pretty bad.
Just like I don't know why, but like, and I'll just eat crow on it because when I first read her kit, I'm like, dude, this Ace Reporter passive, this could be something here, you know? Like there's a lot of text, got kind of excited about it, but then I was like, wow, she's just like an increased accuracy champion with a turn meter boost, really, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, what do you think of her?
Yeah, I think she's pretty rough. I mean, yeah, like turn meter pushback, but everyone's in Stone Skin are now going to be in Mercurial, which stops it all. So it's like. Yeah, and then the randomness, like she's got some decent effects, but it's quite random as to when they happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you guys use April, if you have April and use April, please tell me, you know, where. You know, I think they fixed the Fire Knight glitch, so I think that's not an option anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Barbarian time, man. All right. I mean, I feel like this is for me, this is an easy one, but it's a stacked faction. You know, there's no doubt about that. I could sit here and give a million honorable mentions, rightfully so, but I think the best is Odin Faefather. I think Odin's the best because of his versatility, because he's elite in PvP and elite in PvE. I mean, just using the Asgardian Judgment, his A3, using it to like get that max damage HP against bosses, like it just feels really, really like, wow, he does that too, huh? You know, so the enemy max HP, and then really probably the best removal, debuff, control move in the game with Storm of Familiars. And then he has the block damage, the passive, the buff spread, the all the other stuff that he has in his kit too, with the aura and whatnot. He'd be my choice. There's some bangers though, so who would you go with as your favorite or the best?
No, I agree. I'd pick him as well. I think he's so strong. We actually forgot to mention it in my video talking about wish lists. Like on my wish list, some way to track these passives like his or Thor's or Sanguine Maria, any of these champions with these super impactful passives. And you just have to count it yourself. And like, oh, it's such a pain in the butt.
Bro.
And it's so easy to get it wrong, and the block damage pops up. You're like, no,
Dude,
like,
it's so funny you mentioned this. This happened to me last night in live arena, bro. I had Gallius, and he switched. It was a switch form that triggered triggered the stupid block damage. I'm like, I was gonna get the win. I switched forms. All I had to do was nuke, and no, it wasn't a Gallius. I think it was Embry's, because otherwise I could have ignored the block damage. Yeah. So it was Embry's. And I switched. I'm like, no, and I lost. So yeah, I hear you on that one, man. There's quite a few of them now too. All right, so we agree on the best. Who's the worst here? I'm gonna go Altan, the red monster. He's gonna be my worst. This dude just feels like a very, very, very poorly aged legendary, and I cannot believe they haven't buffed him yet, man.
No, I agree actually. Yeah, I mean, we mentioned Harvest Jack is getting a buff. Super visually cool champions should be really good. And Altan, I love his design. I think he's so badass. Straight out of like God of War or whatever. He's so cool, but
yeah,
he's terrible.
Especially
he's
for
so
an original
old.
champion, you know?
Yeah. So I'd love to see him be buffed. He's great.
Yeah.
But,
so yeah,
yeah,
I think he's just so old school, you know? So old school. Doesn't feel very legendary. All right, so that is. So we have the same best and the same worst in the category. There are some oldies here that I won't go through them all, but like, I wouldn't mind seeing an Elder Skarg buff too, you know, this year. All right. Ogren Tribe, you are up, and who's the best here? This is a... this is an
the
interesting
easy
one.
best has to be the new Classic.
Okay. Do you think the Classic, or do you think Cecilia, or do you think somebody else was maybe like a Leo was the best legendary added in 2025? I'm putting you on the hot seat here.
I say probably Leo, because he just impacts so many areas, like all your siege attacks, Leonardo, like Classic, Tag, Leonardo. He can beat like every dungeon in the game, right, with the turtles. So probably Leo makes it in just for the versatility. But I don't know. What would you say? It's tough though.
In a recent video, I said Classic, and then I said Cecilia was number 2, but I was totally spacing out Leo. That's why I mentioned him right now. And I think that but I think those are the big 3. You know, legendaries added. I might be forgetting somebody, but anyway. So you're going with Classic here. You're going Classic.
For this faction, he's crazy. It's very much like Cecilia, where his A2 would have been enough to be a Void Legendary back in the day. His A3 would have been enough to make him Void Legendary. He happens to have both, plus some enemy max HP and his passive, just because. Why the heck not?
Why not?
But yeah, I think, again, he's so strong against bosses, opens up so many Chimera trials. Like, he's not doing crazy damage, but just so many effects to cover so many trials. And again, like, if they drop in a Demon Lord remix, and like you were speculating, if that does include like trials or something in Demon Lord, yeah, you bet Classic and probably Cecilia as well are going to absolutely crush those trials. So
no doubt.
I think he's a strong one.
Yeah, I think I agree. On him being the best in the faction. There's some solid ones. I love the buff to Bellatar. I don't think he's the strongest, but I love the buff to Bellatar. I love the buff to Toghren. I love the buff to Gurgo. So like 3 great Void, I think, legendary buffs in this faction, but I would also give it to Classic. And then the worst, who do you give the worst to?
It's tough. I think the worst is there's a couple. Probably
there are.
Maybe?
Drakul, yeah.
Again, I think visually, so cool. Buff this guy. He's badass. Again, straight out of God of War, it lit pretty.
Yeah, right.
First boss or something. I don't know. I remember fighting those, but
I don't know. He's like Sisyphus, right? Is that the guy who has to carry the rock up the doomed for eternity? He's like that kind of thing. Yeah. But I agree with you. Like, increase attack, increase defense. I mean, everybody has Mithrala or is going to get Mithrala. And then, like, what else do you have? A shield? That's it, you know?
Yeah. So. And it's such a long cooldown, and it's such a small shield.
Yeah. I agree.
He's bad.
I'll give it to, I mean, I think I would probably actually give it to Drakul too, but just to be a little bit different, I'll give it to, do I really mean this? I want to, maybe Brugard, Jeroboam.
Yeah,
this
he's
dude,
pretty bad.
Yeah, I was kind of, I don't know why, but I kind of talked myself into him when I pulled him. I was like, oh, okay, a buff removal and a heal. But then I'm just like, I don't know. He's not as bad as, I don't think, as Drakul, though. So yeah, okay, we agree. Lizardmen time. Who you got? You're up first. This is a stacked faction now.
Yeah.
Who do you win the game, or how do you win the game? Who do you pull?
Oh, it's really tough actually to pick just the one.
There's not one that's head and shoulders. Like there's some elite ones, several, you know?
Yeah, I guess I'd probably go with Sulfurion. I think he's pretty flexible. And again, coming in with that AoE burn and then instantly activating it, that is so rare. There's so few champions that can do it, and it is really a game changer. I guess maybe it's not going to be as important with Mercurial set anymore, but I don't know. I'll stick with them. I'll stick with them. I think you want, if burns are good anywhere in the game, here's your guy. He's like the burn Void Legendary, who's also a reviver and turn meter boosting. He's really solid. So
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
okay.
Yeah,
He's
it's hard to
sick
get
with these
away. That was my natural inclination to go Sulfurion too. So I think he's the guy for me. But I guess Chris could be my number 2, like old school champion, you know, but and not really used in the arena, but certainly very versatile and one of the best progression champions in the entire game still, if you pull him, you know. So, you know, I mean, but Feedy's in the conversation. Certainly Teox is in the conversation. Heck, Donnie, I feel like, is very good.
Yeah.
So
my boy Predator is actually really better than people think,
even little Pytheon, man, like he doesn't get enough love, I feel like, you know. Really strong profile that he brings support wise. But the worst, I forgot, this is you, right? Who's the worst?
Gosh, the worst. I mean, I think it probably is Roxam. I don't know. Again,
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't like Roxam at all.
I hate this dude.
Sorry, but
dude.
I feel like the AoE decreased defense weekend is great, but it's, you know, going through Affinity makes it not so strong these days. And then you got to do all this setup to try get Perfect Veil. And again, it's just that thing of like, is it even worth the hassle? I think he's also the most expensive guaranteed champion they've ever done. They put him up for 30 sacred shards, I'm pretty sure, at one point. And I think probably nobody did it. And then they went, okay, well, never mind.
This guy's the worst, bro. He's the worst. And you know what? You can honestly fix his, maybe not a full, he's not going to be a beast champion, but you can really fix him so easily just by making the chameleon passive starts every turn with like a perfect fail. Like that's, I mean, like at least he's got something, you know, but no, instead you get a continuous heal every time you get a veil or perfect fail. Like, come on, man. But he's awful. I agree. He's my worst. And, I don't really even think it's that close, man. I hate that guy. All right, Skinwalker time. Okay, well, the best, this one is I just want to make sure that I'm not, like, there's not a beast, but yeah, Marius, man.
Yeah.
All right, I think we don't have to say much about Marius other than he's probably the most versatile overall champion in the game, right? In terms of just being elite everywhere, pretty much, right?
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about him. That hasn't been said already, right? Do you have anything to add?
No, not really. Like I remember we were chatting about like Grim Forest with like, you know, me, YSC, and like Saf, like behind the scenes and the hellhades.com and all that chatting away. And Saf was like, you probably just use Marius to clear every stage. And I was like, yeah, kind of. If he's there, he's the first pick, man.
Right?
Just clear that stage. It's all good.
Dude, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm just looking like, especially on normal mode now, I'm just like, oh God. I have Siegfried, so I'm like, Siegfried's my first guy that I'm like, okay, Siegfried, done. And sometimes I'm lazy and I just do a redraw just to get him, just so because I don't want to.
Oh, wow.
only on normal mode. But Marius is the same vibe to your point. So, okay, we agree that Marius is by far the best, one of the best champions in the entire game. Who's the worst here, though? That's the question. I'm going to go with... I know who the obvious choice. I think I know who the obvious choice here is, but I'm actually gonna go with War Chief. I don't mind War Chief if you need a provoker. Like he's got you covered. He's probably one of the best single target provokers in the game. But there's not that many situations where you need like Magma Dragon. I guess that you really need a good single target provoker. I feel like these provokers. They're kind of a dime a dozen now. There's a lot of good A1 provokes. There's like, heck, like Gnarlhorn Rares can AoE provoke. So I don't like, I know the legendary is only a provoker. I don't love it, even after his buff. I think I know who you're going to go with, though. Who you're going to go with?
I know that you think he's six as well, because you said to me, I think off air, that you want him buffed. It has to be for me, Brackus.
Okay, I thought you were actually going to go Bambus, but I do want to talk about both. So what do you think, Brackus?
I like Bambus. Okay, yeah, but
let's talk about Brackus and then we'll go to Bambus real quick because I have I was wrong.
Brackus. Yeah, I think Brackus is another one of those characters that is super visually unique, super cool. Why has he not been buffed? He's awesome. But yeah, he's just bad. Just lots of single target damage. I mean, his A2 is really cool. Like
really
6
cool
hits. That's so unique. It's so cool. And it's totally useless, basically.
His passive
in the
is
game.
cool too. Yeah.
There's nowhere to use him. And he's got like the whole, he dies and takes an extra turn. He's interesting. I think I used him very briefly, like when I started the game in Tag Team Arena. it was like a team that was just designed to die.
Yeah.
And then Skullcrown would maybe clutch the win with the increased attack from Brackus.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's
No, I
going
agree
back
with
a
you.
while. I don't think
Brackus
it's
and
possible.
Harvest Jack, man, they missed their opportunity in Halloween, man. I know they're gonna buff Harvest Jack, but like, just give the Halloween champions some love on Halloween. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. So yeah, Brackus. Bambus. I'd thrown some shade Bambus's way in the past, but I'll be honest with you, Faction Wars hard mode, he actually was like, wow, you know what? There's more to this Bambus. And even though his kit reads like a, you know, a novel, you know, when you're like, okay, what the heck is he doing, you know? But like sometimes he's oddly kind of nice to plug and play too. Like auto isn't that bad on him, you know? So he's actually better than I thought he was going to be. So there you go.
Yeah, I think he's very useful for Faction Wars hard. He's shown up in some like niche teams as well over the years, and like Hydra.
Hydra,
He
yeah,
does
yeah.
have an interesting combination of buffs and debuffs, which is cool. But I think Faction Wars hard, like you kind of forget, right? He has 2 turns in Feeble. It is single target, mind you.
Yeah.
But you forget that even exists.
I know.
It is quite nice for Faction Wars hard to
Indeed.
like, oh yeah, that enemy's annoying. Oh, I can just enfeeble them. Okay, great. That's cool.
For sure.
So, yeah.
And you know what? Your boy, this reminds me of YST because he was big on Bambus, your guy. And YST has a thing for any champion who puts themselves to sleep. Cornelia, Bambus, something about it, man. Anyway, I digress. Let's go to Orcs. You're first. I can't keep track of anything. I'm old, man. What, you first here? No, I'm first, right? No, you're first.
I think we swapped at one point. So you go first, and I think we're back on track. You'll be back on track then for night.
All right, so I hear this one a lot. I have Trunda. Why doesn't it do that much damage, right? I'm of course talking about the Hydra Clash. Like some people, their Trunda teams are doing billions and billions of damage, right? And of course, like some of it is partially because they have +4 fully ascended, and then they have a very specific kind of team with like different pieces in there. But I don't have those. I do have a Trunda Final team along with the High Elves, and I could do 50 billion points in Hydra Clash, right? So today's video, I want to break down like how does that team work. So first, I'm going to show the builds of all the champions in there, like their accessories, masteries, what I'm running, relics, etc. And then I'm going to jump into an actual Hydra Clash battle, because this week our clan is pushing for damage, so I'm gonna do this anyways. Might as well show like why does the team work and what to look for when doing the run. So here we go. The first piece of course is Trunda. So these are the stats that I have on my Trunda. We're gonna explain a little bit about that later, but look at the speed, right? No, I need to show it for Hydra. Yeah, look at the speed, look at the crit rate, right? And then the accuracy, attack. That's what I want to point out. Okay, next is the relic, Coronet, of course, and very important to have this this one, boss layer gem on there. Okay. Oh yeah, and the set, Triple Zeal. Triple Zeal is the best in terms of damage for this particular reason, so you want that, and I'm gonna explain that as well. In terms of blessing, Nature's Wrath, 6-star, right? 6-star, increases damage. We're gonna explain that, and HP burn, right? We want to stacks up to 50%, so this one is 5 times. Nature's Wrath is actually a little more, 6 times, right? Okay, and then the masteries go with offense and defense. Okay, so that's Trunda. The next champion is 4 High Elves. I don't have a lot of High Elves options, so I just use Arbiter. Arbiter is just pure speed. These are the stats, just all speed set, just fast, right? A little bit of accuracy, right? How to show Hydra, yeah, just fast. In terms of relic, I have the hilt, just make it even faster. Blessing have intimidating presence, and masteries is over here. Okay, next one I have is this. A lot of people don't use this champion, Yannicka. The reason I use it is because of curse set. She does 2-hit AoE on A1 when veiled, so excellent at applying curse. The stats I have is here for Hydra. Right, look at the crit rate. Like, we're gonna talk about that. And then yeah, also the relic scroll the unseen. Cruelty 6-star, very 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 important. If I didn't have 6-star blessing on Yannicka, I probably won't use her. So because I have 6-star blessing and she has a very specific set of skills, cruelty, and then the masteries. Okay, next we have Balinor. Balinor is decreased defense and weaken champion, 9-piece Feral. The stats we have is right here. Again, crit rate, right, accuracy. In terms of relic, we're looking at the orb. I think I just have some leftover relics, so put it out on there. In terms of skills, Nature's Wrath, pretty good. And masteries, there we go. That's a mastery for Balinor. Next piece of information here. So we have Trunda, 1, 2, 3 high elves. The fourth one is, of course, Fina. Fina is in 9-piece protection, right? She puts up so many different buffs. So 9-piece protection is the best on her by far. And then in Hydra battles, these are the stats, very, very fast, right? And then let's see here. She has Harp. Harp is underrated. It's actually a decent relic. Okay, I see a lot of people say Harp is not good, but Harp is okay. And then her aura is the one I use. A lot of people just use Trunda aura for that little bit of extra attack. Like, yes, you get a little, but like, look at what Fina is bringing. Increase ally speed by 20%. That's huge. And then also crit rate for high elves. So I can build my high elves with all 15% less crit rate. It's amazing. I only have 1-star blessing. I just put lightning cage on her. And then these is the masteries for Fina. Okay. The last piece of the puzzle is a damage amplification champion. I went with Feral. Feral, of course, puts up a lot of buffs as well. So protection 9-piece is really good on Feral as well. The stats I have for Feral in Hydra is right here. Just fast, accuracy, right? A little bit of tankiness. Yeah, 9-piece protection. Also has Harp, underrated relic. In terms of, yeah, only 1-star blessings, so lightning cage, just okay. And then the masteries. Right. I don't want to take up too much time. That's all the builds. I'm just gonna jump into the so we go into clan bosses here. So let's see how we're doing. Yep, we're currently first place, but it looks pretty tight, right? And I did 1 key already. Let me see, what did I do? I did I did 2 keys. Did a hard mode, these is auto battle, and I did a Titus key, again auto battle. Like, it just takes too long, right? So I don't want to manual if I don't have to. Now we are pushing for damage this week, so I will do the Trunda key. You'll see it takes a while, right, to manual a Trunda key. So that will be my last key here. So let's go in. Nightmare. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at that. Okay, Nightmare. In terms of the team, Trunda manual. Okay, so not quick battle. I don't need auto. Let's go in. So for the Trunda team, this is the team that I came up with. I got Fina when Fina first became a champion in the first Prism event, and I got lucky off of like just one Prism pull. I got Fina, and I think I was one of the first to come up with this team. I believe so. So this is my team. I know how this team works. Like the other team with this crazy stupid damage, like I don't know how that team works, right? So at the beginning, you want to apply HP burns. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. You gotta count how many HP burns you're putting on Trunda. I think once we get to like 8, we're pretty safe. It makes the all the damage Trunda do like amplified. So you gotta do the HP burn at the beginning. And then once you're good with that, then you don't have to use that skill again. Trunda's only thing to do is the big slam, right? You just want to do the big slam over and over and over again on an exposed head, ideally. So over here, if I do this, I maybe get one burn here, but then these are already burned. I don't want to waste that, so I'm just gonna do this, and let's see the damage. So 10 million, boom, 54, right? Okay, so that's all the heads, and then we're going to reset, boost. These they have the Serpent's Will buff on. That's gonna be a very key thing to look out for later, because you do not want your team to be too fast. Like if the Hydra heads have Serpent's Will and you're too fast, like what's the point? You're just gonna hit into like no damage, right? So there really is no point to be too fast. So sometimes you see I actually do not boost. Like in this situation, none of the heads are burned, so I'm gonna use the burn skill. Okay, I got 3. Okay, maybe I'll do the burn one more time at some point, right? I do not need to reset because I have the big slam here. So I'm not going to. Like sometimes you see me save skills. Like you're not AI, right? Like you don't have to go with a certain like preset, if you will. If X skill is available, then do that. No, you can look at a situation and go, there's no reason for me to do that right now, so I'm gonna save it. So yeah, over here, I think I'm just gonna do this on here. It is gonna be chance of weak hit, but I think it's okay. Like even if it weak hits, yeah, it's completely fine. Over here, I'm gonna hopefully that head takes a turn, and Furo has the decreased speed on A1, so it's very good to apply that on an exposed head. Like you want to maximize the amount of time that the head is exposed, and so that you can do the Trunda big slam into the exposed head. That is ideal. Over here, there's 2 exposed heads. I think I still want to do one more of this, so I'm just gonna go for the burn. Yeah. Okay, I think that's enough burns. Now these have Serpent's Will, so not ideal. Not ideal. And sometimes you see me hit into the Serpent's Will. What I'm doing is just purposely not damaging these, because their HP is low, right? I don't want them to die just yet. I do not. So what I'm trying to do is hoping that these heads don't respawn while these Serpent's Wills fall off. That's my goal. So I will purposely not hit them, because like right now I could hit those and then get like a okay amount of damage on 2 heads, but or alternatively I could wait till these 2 fall off and then do a big slam and damage all 4 heads at once, right? So this head is gonna cleanse, but it only cleanses the heads that are actually here and not the exposed ones. And this one has a little bit of turn meter, so I think we're still okay. Yeah. So ideally this one also goes, but I'm veiled here. I have to use A1. Ooh, close. Okay, yeah, this one didn't go, but I think that's okay. Now, when hitting this skill against exposed heads and there's multiple choices, you want to hit the one that is gonna give you the maximum amount of damage, because the splash ignores extra defense, right? So you don't want to hit the tankiest. Like, for example, this head actually has a lot of defense even when exposed. This head has less, so you want to hit this head first, and then the splash damage, which has extra ignore defense, to hit this one, and it will do more damage. So let's try that. Even though this one is spirit, normally I will hit the spirit on the first initial target and then let it spread, but I will hit this one. And we see number go up. That was 100 million hits, right? We're gonna see more. There's the poison cloud head is on, and the cleanse head is not here, so you want to put the block debuffs on them as soon as possible, so he's not doing that poison cloud, because that could get nasty. Like, you could be in trouble there. This skill, decrease defense and weaken, you want to save that skill when there are more than one exposed head. Just to get the maximum amount. Like, there's 2 reasons for you to do the big smack on Trunda. Number 1 is to kill the heads so that they become exposed head, and number 2 is to use the unexposed head for maximum damage. Like, in this case right now, there's only 1 exposed head, so I want to kill these 2. And then after these 2 are killed, I'm going to put decrease defense and weaken and actually farm damage. So this first hit here is just to kill these 2 heads. And now I have 2, and that one will fall off too. So I'll hit 3. 2 exposed and 1 real Hydra hit. So that'll give me the maximum damage. Always looking at the affinity. So over there, I'm trying to apply the debuffs on the affinity that is good for Trunda. So I want to keep this one as much as possible until Trunda takes a turn. Okay, that's bad. He got True Fear because of counterattack. Yeah, that's not good. So there's a chance our big slam is gonna be feared. But sometimes that's just the RNG of, oh, we don't even have that. Okay, apparently I wasn't counting correctly. That's all right. We do another burn, and then we come back to it. Okay, so right here again, we're gonna just try to kill these heads so that we can get as many exposed head as possible in a row, and then do the big slam. Ideally, you want to do the big slam when Trunda has so many buffs, including the buffs that Furo has, which boosts Trunda's damage a lot. Furo is in there just as a damage amplification, right? Its passive gives when other champions have 3 buffs or more, gives them extra damage. And also he has that 9-piece protection, which when he puts buffs on these champions, he gives them extra damage. Over here, I'm just gonna slam. So Furo is just mega boosting damage over here, right? That's his job. And also he offers a decrease speed on A1, which is good. Too bad it's not AoE, but you can't ask for too much. And also he has that block debuffs, which can deal with the poison cloud head very well. So that is, so right now there's 2 with Serpent's Will. I don't want to slam, and then only 1 head here. It's not ideal. So I'm not boosting, I'm not using the big skill, I'm not even doing decrease defense and weaken. I do have Veil, so I can hit this head. I always want to hit that head. Yeah, I don't want to do it right now. I want these 2 to take a turn ideally, and then I'll do it. This is still has 2 turns, so I don't have to right now. I put it on Feral. So he can give the Veil again. There we go. Please take your turn. This head is the slowest. A lot of times it might not even take a turn. That's just the reality. Oh, we got lucky. He did take his turn. So right now no head has Serpent's Will, right? That's ideal, because this slam is gonna be into Force Affinity, so 35% chance weak hit, but we're gonna try to get rid of everything here. Good opportunity to apply decrease defense and weaken. Yeah, let's just see if it does. Okay, we didn't get weak hit, so everything died there, and the damage goes up, right? I always want to apply the decreased speed to the target that Trana's trying to hit. So yeah, okay, and then reset. Okay, so I want to talk about the Trunda now. Trunda, as you noticed from the earlier screen, the speed is very low, and crit rate is not capped at 100%. The reason is because it's not capped. I always have increased crit rate buff on Trunda. You will see this buff on Trunda all the time, and it gives 30% crit rate, which is why my Trunda is at 70%, right? Over here, I think I just slam. Is at 70%, so it's actually 100% crit rate Trunda. It's just because of the team comp. Now the other elves can be even lower. They can be as low as 65%. 55% crit rate, and that's because Fina is boosting the other elves to give them an additional 15% crit rate on all the high elves. That's Fina's passive, right? And I have Fina as lead, so that's the reason this team is not all at 100% crit rate, which, you know, normally you want that, but it's designed that way so that you can get more stats from elsewhere, right? You don't need to have 100% crit rate for this team. See, I weak hit there, but it's still killed, right? So it's like sometimes the damage is so high that even if you weak hit, you can still kill the heads. Yeah, so that's why Trunda's crit rate is at 70%. And then the speed is very, very low. And the reason is because I want Trunda to be somewhat like half of Fina speed. About half. And that's because you notice every time I have Trunda go, this skill, the big slam, is available. And that's because of all the extra boosts that we have on the team, turn meter boost, also Fina going like double the speed of Trunda. Like that's how we're able to do it, right? So you want Fina to be extremely fast, and you want Trunda to be slow, like around half the speed of Fina. And so that way, when you have the appropriate, like here, this boost, and then put that on, and then Trunda has that skill available again. So every time that skill is gonna become available, and really that's the only skill you want to use on Trunda anyways. Here we have a little bit of problem because whenever this cleanse head and the poison cloud head are available, it's trouble, right? And the only way around it is to have an exposed head. I'll explain that later. But here I don't want to do the slam yet because there's 2 Serpent's Will. I want to save it. However, if I don't do it, he's gonna put up poison cloud and he's gonna cleanse everything, so I can't even block debuffs. So right now I must do the slam and hopefully kill this. Yeah, I do. Okay, good. Because yeah, it's gonna be like turns, many turns of like nothingness if I don't do that. If I be greedy here. Okay, and this is a perfect example to show why I don't care if the poison head puts up poison clouds, because usually other teams, like once he puts up poison clouds, you're kind of doomed unless you have like some kind of apply HP burn and then you can go through it that way, but my team doesn't. So to do this, you need 1 exposed head. So we have 1 here. Great. And the other thing you need is Trunda to have his A2 available, which we do. I don't want to kill this. I'm just going to head into a poison cloud. It's great that his Serpent's Will buff drop up because this will kill him. Like he has poison health, he has poison cloud. You think they're safe. This one has Serpent's Will, is really safe. But these 2 have poison cloud. You think they're safe, but no. Trunda's skill actually go through the poison cloud. The second hit is always a normal attack. Poison cloud blocks like the critical and whatnot, but it doesn't block normal attacks. So what will happen is I'm gonna hit here, and these 2 will die through the poison cloud because the damage doesn't actually get reduced. Let's see. Boom, 25 million. They're both dead. So Trunda teams actually don't care too much about the poison head. It can hit through it, given that you have at least 1 exposed head, and Trunda has that skill available. Over here I have 2 exposed heads. Perfect time to apply defuse, defense, and weaken. It is good, and I want that reset. So every time Trunda goes, he has that skill. Here, 2 Serpent's Will, 2 exposed head. If I hit the exposed head, yeah, I'm gonna do some damage, but like none of these 2 will take damage, and I don't want that. I don't even want to hit these exposed heads because this A1 might hit so hard that they just die. So I'm gonna do no damage to these heads, and I have veil, so I don't care if I won't get feared. Yeah, so I'm gonna hit them and let them take a turn. That's the goal. Here, I think I don't want him to put up that buff, so I'm gonna do this. You can hit this. Please take a turn and get rid of your Serpent's Will. Like, this buff is so dumb. That change like lowered the damage potential of teams by so much, which I get, but at the same time, like, it just sucks. Like, if it was like 1 head will have Serpent's Will, I think still okay. But sometimes, oh, and Final has a cleanse here. This skill, once there's a faction unity allies, actually cleanses. So a lot of times your team will get like fears, your team will get like all kinds of nasty debuffs, and it'll actually cleanse it, right? So that's good. Here I want to put a veil up, that's why I put it on Furo, the reset. Here just apply A1, and this is gonna be a decent hit because 2 exposed head, 2 heads here, everything should die. Yeah, about 400 million. So I think yeah, like if there was just maybe one Serpent's Will is okay. Like sometimes you get 3 Serpent's Will. Like what is that? Like what are you supposed to do? You just like waiting for your turn, which is why a lot of times I don't even use the Arbiter boost and the Final boost, because if you boost, you do nothing, right? This is a combo that is very scary, and also our Trunda is gonna get eaten soon. See, the counter here goes to 2. You gotta pay attention to that. Now this team has a lot of damage with what's your face? Annika and Balinor can both free Trunda once if Trunda gets eaten, so we're not too worried about that. But we are worried about the cleanse and the poison head combo, because I can't put this up, and if Trunda gets eaten, like the exposed head strategy doesn't work. So we're in a bit of pickle here, and we just have to do a suboptimal hit here and get rid of this hit. Yeah, we have to. If I do that, yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so yeah, and then this head will take turn, this head will take turn, and probably eat the Trunda, and then we'll try to free them that way, right? It's good that we got the decreased speed there. He's gonna eat. Yeah, good. I don't think I need to use that skill. I'm gonna save it. Somebody hit him. Okay, and that's gonna free. Okay, Trunda is out. So yeah, like either one of these champions have enough damage to free Trunda. So this team is actually very, very good. Both of those have some damage built, so it's good. Over here, okay, I think I want to talk about the next champion. Let's talk about Yannicka. Yannicka is good. First of all, I happen to have a 6-star soul, which means I can do this decreased defense cruelty blessing on her. So every time she hits the Hydra heads, she decreases their defense, right? Which increases my damage. And when she's failed, her 8-1 attacks all enemy 2 times. So she's gonna decrease all the Hydra heads defense 2 times. And that makes her one of the best cruelty appliers in the game, because she's always veiled in this team. Like there's Firo, and she has this A2 which can give herself veil, so she's always going to be veiled. And she gives leech is okay, like if your team is a little bit low, like you can heal up. Also, like because this is AoE and 2 times everyone, she's one of the best on hex set, which is why I like you see I don't have any champion that applies hex, but hex can boost your damage a lot, right? So I have a hex set on Yannicka, and that allows me to work in the hex debuff as well. Yeah, so that is why Yannicka is a good champion. First of all, it's high elves. Second of all, it has 6-star blessing, and third of all, it has the hex set. So that's why she made her spot onto the team. Now, a lot of people will have better options in terms of high elves, right? Like maybe you have a Galathier. That's like straight upgrade over someone, say, Arbiter. Maybe you have the champions that apply a lot of debuffs, excellent for 9-piece Furo, or apply a lot of different buffs that Trunda is not getting, excellent for 9-piece protection. Like those are probably gonna be better. I just have Yannicka because that's the best option I had, and it works. And yeah, so that's the reason I have Yannicka on there. I guess I can talk about the next high elf. I have. Okay, this is a bit of a thing. When I kill this head of mischief, it lowers the turn meter of all the other heads, which is generally good except I have a head with Serpent's Will. Now, if I lower the turn meter of the head with Serpent's Will, it's gonna be more time until this one gets to take his turn and get to damage it. So I'm gonna be greedy here and not. I think I'm just gonna, and these turn meter is relatively okay. I'm gonna hope that this one takes its turn and try to use it the next turn. Oh, you might die to counterattack. Yeah, attack Trunda and die to the counterattack. So all that was for nothing. What? I mean, sometimes you just do too much damage with your champions, right? You have these plans and it doesn't work out. That's fine. That is fine. Yeah, but like if it didn't do that, right? The counterattack didn't one shot. I think this would have taken its turn, and then it would have been good because then we can kill everything. Oh, it still doesn't take its turn. But no, I'm gonna be greedy. It's very close, but I think I can boost myself. So I'm a greedy player. I'm going for the maximum damage. Why not? Please take a turn before this goes. This could be really bad. Boost. Trunda, go. I have Veil here, so I could just hit. Trunda not going. Yes. Okay. This should be a lot of damage. Okay. The initial hit, you want to hit someone with decreased defense. And then the splash is going to ignore so much defense that it doesn't really care about the decreased defense. And the initial hit definitely don't hit someone that's strong affinity. So this is the perfect target. Let's see the damage. 1.9 billion right now. And go. 2.4. Okay. Yeah, so that's a pretty good hit. Like 500 million, right? Yeah, I think. And now we do it over again. And this is only boss turn 43. So you see, like, this team goes so fast. You're always going, always going. Sometimes you have to slow yourself down. In terms of, I don't want to use decreased defense and weaken because the cleanse head is here. And over here, we have a bit of an issue because there's no exposed head. Sometimes that happens. And when that happens, you just have to work through it. So two ways I could do the HP burn, but it's gonna cleanse it, or I could do this and hopefully one shot that. But then these two serpents will, their turn meter is gonna go down. There's no poison cloud, so I'm not too worried. I'll just do this. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Hopefully these two take his turn. Not going to kill that and not going to apply the yes, take your turn. Take your turn. No! Counterattack. Wrong one. Like, it has a chance to misdirect, right? Like only 25% chance or something. To go to that head, and we get unlucky and it goes there. So this one doesn't get to take his turn. Oh well. If we can get a weaken on here, it'll boost our damage a lot when the big hit comes. And then these ones apply the hex and apply the decreased defense. Like you see the little red text, like defense decreased, right? That's from cruelty. Okay. So back to the team. I think we talked about Firo, pure damage boost. We talked about Yannicka. We talked about Trunda and speed. We talked a little bit about Fina. Final is what makes this team go, right? Like if this team has two champions that cannot be replaced, number one is Chanda, number two is Final. Final allows Chanda to have near 100% ignore defense, just by having like each of these buffs is giving Chanda ignore defense, and that's from the Final passive. I think we just slam here. Yeah, we'll kill these three. That one has Serpent's Will. This is okay. Yeah. So Final was allowing this team to go. Every time the buff goes up, oh shoot. What is going on? One of the splash damage or the hex from Chanda's hit actually killed the head and the exposed head. So right now all the heads are back up. This situation happens, and it's bad because there is a poison cloud coming, and this head cleanses. So we got lucky because we have this skill up, which is why I almost never use this until I really need it, because right now we really need it. We need it to land good. It didn't land here, but it's okay. Now the poison cloud is not gonna go on. Okay, so saved. Or else it's gonna be like a long time of no damage, right? Once they all have poison cloud and you have no exposed head, so you can't do the hit through thing. Okay, cleanse, and then do reset. I don't have a, but I do have the hit here. Sometimes you don't have the veil, and it's worth taking an extra turn to get that double hit. Okay, he's gonna cleanse everything. That's fine. Oh, fear. And I don't have the thing. 50-50. That's too much risk. I'm just gonna do this. Oh, we get lucky. Good stuff. I'm gonna do it here. 3 exposed head. That's excellent. And this hopefully will do a lot of damage. The next big slam. So do that. Yeah. Final's passive. Whenever a buff is placed on an ally, fill their turn meter by 3%, and then ally deal 25%. This one is not that useful here. This one is not that useful. Allies will ignore 5% of target defense for each buff on them. This is what's making Chanda go nearly at 100% ignore defense, and which is why we can use Zeal set on Chanda and still get good amount of damage, because Chanda's skill has innate ignore defense, the A2 in it, and we have the Great Halt bonus for Hydra, so we have ignore defense there, and then Fina is giving her a lot of ignore defense, so that's why it's good. And here, even though he has poison cloud, he's gonna die too. So this skill actually boosts a lot of turn meter, and in this situation I don't want to boost turn meter. I just want Chanda to go and hit them and then they all die, so I'm just gonna A1. So sometimes you don't want to use your turn meter boost. You had to think of what you're trying to do here. There's 1,500 turns, and your goal is to get the maximum amount of damage possible. So you're always trying to increase this number while not going too fast, because you're gonna run out of turns. Like, we are going to go to 1,500 turns. That's not the boss turn count, because that would be crazy. But like, for
We got any cake outs to the newer?
1,500, and that's the ceiling of this team. It's stopped not because, you know, you're eaten or your champions died. No, no, no. The ceiling is because you go to the term limit. You will go to the term limit every time, and it's very stable, right? I even have a reviver in here, so there's like almost nothing that can go wrong. I will always, like, I don't have to restart my Hydro run ever, which is one thing I look for in Hydro team. Like, I hate restarting over and over just to get a good score. That's just frustrating. So I have a reviver in here. There's almost nothing that can go wrong. I have all the pieces to deal with, like, I don't have provoke, but I have like things to deal with poison cloud. I have just straight up damage, and secondary damage to free Trunda. I think here I'm gonna be greedy and let them take another turn. Hopefully get rid of these serpents will. Yeah. Hopefully get rid of these before this takes the turn. These two go, but these don't go. That's what I'm hoping for. You go. Slow. Yes, decrease speed. Good. And then we decrease their attack a little more. You go. Okay. And now we need Trunda to go before that. Please, please, please. Please, please, please. Sometimes you just gotta go be greedy, which is why didn't work out. Did not work out. But these three don't have Serpent's Will. I think
Come and get this
they're
stuff brownie,
late
dog.
enough in the run that this will kill them. Even I have no decreased
Stevie.
defense, weaken, nothing. I think this will just
Stevie.
yeah, okay, we killed one. So we have an exposed head now to work with. And then we hit that, these two will die. Okay, we're okay. We are okay. Yeah, the goal is to get as much damage as possible and limit the amount of turns that you take. So you will see, like, I will actively try to avoid using the extra turn champions, like Fina using the A3 and Yannicka using the A2. If I don't have to, I won't use it because they eat up one turn. And one turn doesn't seem like a lot for 1,500 turns, but if you use them all the time, like, it will add up. And yeah, you're always thinking, like, why am I using a skill, right? You're not just using them because the cooldown is available, because that would make you AI. Like, what difference do you have with a preset then? Like, preset can do that. So if you're gonna manually, like, do it right, you know, like, here, 2 exposed head, good time to use decreased defense and weaken. It's not a waste. And then try to farm some damage. Over here, I think this will die, so I don't mind getting feared. And we're gonna slam here. This one will die. That one has Serpent's Will. 3.4, 3.7. Okay, decent. Oh, that one died twice, so everything's back up again. But I think we're okay. This will take his turn. We're gonna slam here and kill them that way. I want to do the apply everything, so I'm gonna do this. And oh, I didn't get the veil. The Yannicka's extra turn and getting veil is conditional on her getting a crit, and over there that was spirit against magic, so I got a weak hit. bit unlucky, but I guess I should have hit someone else. Too greedy there with a little bit of damage. Sometimes you just gotta hit someone else, get that extra turn, and then go from there. Here, I think I just do this and they will die. Okay. Okay. That got eaten. So right now, only Trunda, and this is the second champion that's gotten eaten, because they just don't get to take turns. That's the beauty of this team. Like, the bosses are just dying. They're just dying left, right, and center, right? 2 exposed head, good time to decrease weaken and farm damage. Everything dies. Excellent. Okay, still 2 exposed head. Hopefully we can get another big slam before these 2 take a turn. So we gotta slow them down. Out of these 2, ideally I want to hit the spirit. So I'm gonna go here and apply the weaken here. That just increase your initial damage by 25%, right? Like, it's so big if you can get that. And when the decreased defense and weaken is not available. That one already has weaken. Let's try to get one here. Excellent. That's the thing. Like, you know this skill is not available, but your Arbiter has a weaken on A1, not 100%, but even these 2 weakens will increase this slam's damage by so much. Like, if I didn't have that there, it will do a lot less. Okay. Yep. I think we were talking about Fina here. Fina just makes the whole team go. The only 2 that can't be replaced is Fina and Trunda. Fina just needs, like, for my team composition, the one that I'm doing, all you're doing is have Fina and 3 other elves, so you get the unity. So these 3 other elves can be anything. Balinor is obviously excellent because he offers both decreased defense and weaken. Do I want to do the hit here? It doesn't do much. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Cleanse. Arbiter is here because he has a revive and turn meter boost, but it can be anything else. And Yannicka is there, I already explained. So, like, you can have any other high elves that you have available, and you can also make this team, right? Yeah. So they are replaceable. I want to do some defense decrease. Hit, defense decrease, defense decreased. Die? No. We have true fear. We can cleanse. Wonderful. Yeah, any high elves will work. Furo, of course, any damage amplification will work. A lot of people use that poison guy. Poison yourself and then you get extra damage. That guy is good. Another one, Clay. There's a Sylvan Watcher guy, I think. Also increase, like, there's a lot of choices to increase damage, right? So this one is super replaceable as well. So yeah, like, as you can see, we're already at 4 billion damage. I think we talked about the finest passive. This skill is great, increased attack, which is good for Trunda. If you're not running Arbiter, you need an increased attack somewhere. increase crit rate, so I can go at 70% crit rate and increase crit damage. Just boost damage straight up, right? And it cleanses. It cleanses because you're gonna get a lot of debuffs. Cleanses is excellent. Grants extra turn, so you can cycle. Like this skill can't be cooldown can be reduced, but this skill can. And if you're taking extra turn, like this one will become available sooner, which is why every time Trunda takes a turn, like this one is available to put on her. So that is excellent. Protective buffs, not that relevant. A1 on Fina is not relevant. Yeah, so these two skills so good, and then passive so good. Here I don't think I need to boost, so that's why Fina is excellent. Let's put a little bit of weaken here, and we're gonna slam right here. Okay. Okay. You notice sometimes I use Balinor's A1 instead of A3. Partially because I just don't need the damage, extra damage. But also, Balinor's A1 gives that 1 turn increased crit rate. And because of Final passive, that can give me extra turn meter. Like, each buff goes on the champion will increase the turn meter, right? So sometimes I use that just to get more turn meter. Okay, unlucky. Redirected to the fear head, so we got true fear on ourselves. I'm still gonna risk it. If I get feared, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Not great, but we can go again. Which is why we have these boosts. So here, look at like Trunda is almost. You think that is almost ready to take his turn. I believe, if I'm not wrong, my Fina is still gonna take one more turn before Trunda does, and it's gonna reset his skill. We will see. And that's why we want that ratio. Yeah, see here, just a little bit faster than Trunda, so we can do this, and his skill is back up again, just in time to do the slam again. So that's why the speed is set up that way at the beginning, to be able to do this. These two heads again, like when they show up at the same time, it's just annoying. It's just annoying. And we have to do the suboptimal thing, which is to slam here even though there's Serpent's Will, just to kill that. That's just how it is, or you're gonna be in big trouble. Okay, we still have exposed head. We're not like super screwed if it goes wrong. Like we are okay. Yeah, just one. Okay, so not bad. And yeah, like you kind of get the idea. This run will just keep going, right? It will just continue to go. 2 exposed heads, decrease defense and weaken. Apply this as much as possible. Attack 2 times, and it will lower the defense. The cruelty will lower defense of even the exposed head and the active head. It's just so good. Cruelty is important. You gotta have one champion on your team that does that, right? For Hydra. And yeah, 6-star is best. You have decreased speed, so I think we can wait. Can you take a turn, please? Can you take a turn, please? We can hit here. Maybe do a boost. Yes, we got a veil up, just increase damage more. Hopefully he can take a turn. Nope, doesn't take a turn. This is close to the end. He's gonna respond, so we gotta do the slam now. Yeah, this one will stand, but this will die. Okay. Yeah, so that's how the team goes. Is there anything I didn't talk about yet? Pharaoh used A1 on an exposed head just to get the decreased speed. Very important. Get the weaken on the target you're gonna like A2 initially. Very, very important. Some rotations, right? Some rotations will have both the Poison Cloud and the Cleanse Head at the same time, but you also have this Head of Suffering, and he takes 2 turns at the beginning. So what will happen is he will actually outrun the Poison Cloud, so you're not completely screwed in that situation as well, because Trunda will have block damage, so he will have reflect damage, but Trunda will have block damage. So Trunda can use A2 to hit the Head of Suffering, and then even though everyone else has Poison Cloud, it will go through. So you're not, like, that's why Trunda teams, any rotation, you're fine. You're fine, right? And that's how you get away with no provoke and no HP burn, which are vital for Hydra battles, but you don't need it because Trunda can go through it. So it's not the end in some of the rotations. Your damage initially will be a little bit lower, but you'll recover. You'll recover. If that wasn't a weak hit, we might have one shot with just counter attack. Ideally, I want you to take a turn. I would like you to take a turn. Ooh. Okay. I really need you to take a turn. I really need you to take a turn. I'm going to A1 here. Hopefully I don't one-shot the head. Not that much damage, right? Okay, good. I need you to take a turn. Please. So that I can have 3 exposed head and 1 head that like will kill and it becomes an exposed head. That's the goal here. So he'll take a turn, and this one will not take a turn. Please. We'll put a veil up. Okay. This is probably the second best situation for a big slam. Just because we got 3 exposed head and we got decreased defense and weaken on 2 of them. The initial target is not the best, it's the tankiest head, but this should do a lot of damage, I think. Only better situation is if you can have 4 exposed head and I'll have all decreased defense. Like, that needs a lot of work and things to line up. So this is 4.7 billion. 5.2. Okay. Yeah, so far the biggest hit has been about 500 million. I've seen in perfect situations that the hit go up to 1 billion. So yeah, Trunda team is not very fair, because like coming up, like a lot of clans, the entire clan is doing, because 1 billion damage on this is the hardest difficulty nightmare. You got a ×4 for the score, right? So like that's 4 billion clash points in like a single hit. That is a lot of clans are not doing that much to begin with. So yeah, it's not very fair. But once all the things align, like it just works beautifully. This team is okay. Do we think this one can be slow enough to take the extra turn? But these two will take the turn, and this will have another turn. I'm gonna be greedy. This might bite me in the ass. He might put Poison Cloud, and this one might take his turn. Whoa, whoa, counter attack damage. Huh. 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 Okay, so everything's ready for a decent hit. We just need Trunda to take his turn before this one gets out. Ooh, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Okay, we got 3 heads. This is a good situation. Let's see how much damage we can farm. We're not gonna hit that one, but it's weak hit against these two, so we're gonna go there. We're gonna do boost, reset. We're gonna decrease defense and weaken. Okay. This one is pretty close to taking the Serpent's Will. This is still have 2 turn. We're gonna be more greedy. We're gonna wait till this one take his turn. And slow down. No, wicked. Take your turn. Yes, we still have boost. So, boost. Go here. Boost. More decreased defense. Take your turn. And now everything is ready. Boost. Trunda, do your thing. He already has it. Slow down. Okay. Yes. Okay. Everyone has everything. Yeah. 5.3 and 5.8. Yeah, we got another 500 million hit from that because of the setup, right? And because we waited for the Serpent's Will. So that's another key thing. Like, whenever your skill is available, you had to think, what am I accomplishing by using it? If I use it a little bit earlier there, I could have killed the heads, but then you're stuck with the head with Serpent's Will and 3 that response, right? You're gonna have 4 actual heads and no way of dealing them, like getting them down. So you gotta think long term for the next rotation, and which is why sometimes you gotta just be greedy. Like here, we have this much turn meter. I think I can go here, wait for these 2 Serpent's Will to drop off. Here I have Veil, so I can hit this without worrying about being feared. And just, yeah, the ideal situation is just always have 1 exposed head, at least always have 1 exposed head, so you have something to work with. Okay, doesn't look like this one is gonna take his turn because we killed that and it decreases turn meter. So what we're gonna do is just go for, there's no reason to boost there. I want decreased defense and weaken here, which I do get. I think we can kill this. 1 turn. We are so greedy. We are so greedy. We're hoping he'll go. This might not work, as you will see. We might just not make it in time. Or we might just kill it with this skill. Oh, close. Boost. And we don't have the veil. So was it worth it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't want to do damage because it's gonna splash. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. Okay. Didn't take a turn at the end. You know what? It's fine. There's no, like, this will take a turn. We have to do it. Okay. Not bad. Hit. Counterattack. And then once this reaches 15, maybe he'll kill himself. We got the veil. We're just going for damage here. There it is. 15 and kill yourself. Good. Sometimes your champions will get low. It's fine. Because you got Arbiter. Like, just revive, right? I want these serpents